Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here,
And Blue Dragon 5.
and we're back to cover episode 15 of season 3 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled How the Riddler Got His Name. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace.
And explore Gotham.
Yes. Dragon, do you like how I have both the Court of Owls mask and the Riddler green on? I'm doing double duty in the costume department. Ha 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 ha.
Right.
Alright, but I'm not going to be like Tom Hardy in The Dark Knight Rises and wear a freaking mask over my face the whole time. I'm going to do this mono y mono, especially because that mask is suffocating. But how we doing, Dragon? We had basically a nerd Super Bowl bet last night on TV where we had Better Call Saul, the series finale of Bates Motel, which we did a first impressions podcast of last night. And unfortunately, Dragon, sad, but the honest truth is probably like bar number 3 on our list of priorities was, hey, Gotham's back.
Well, I don't know if that was like number 3 on our list of priorities. I mean, come on.
Are you saying you were more excited about Gotham than you were about Saul? Seriously?
Well, I'm saying that we have this annoying break in between episodes for Gotham.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to emphasize that point, Dragon, that Gotham just kind of like, they sort of just limped back in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like one of those. I don't think we had to deal with that. I mean, we've had breaks, but I don't think any of it's going to be
No, we've never had any sort of situation like this.
Plus, they had to write it into the episode, too, which is just embarrassing.
All right, Dragon, yeah, it is. And also, Dragon, something to bring up, really quick kind of pre-ramble here. Gotham it's not been renewed yet. In other shows, like...
all the CW shows have been renewed.
Yeah, and other shows of this nature, like, I believe Fox has, oh gosh, I think their new show is Reaper, I think.
I'm not sure.
There's some new show they have on that's been renewed, and so... I don't know, Dragon. It's looking like a coin toss that Gotham is going to get renewed for season 4 or not.
Yeah, I think personally, I think Gotham's going to be safe. I think they're going to be safe for at least 5 seasons.
At least 5 seasons. We'll see. But that's what I've heard, Dragon. It's on the bubble. So, all right. Well, all that aside, let's get right into it, Dragon. Let's talk about how the Riddler got his name. All right. So we start with a cold open. Yeah.
You know, a classic Riddler opening. You know, it's kind of a riddle or die situation with a pattern.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we get the first riddle, Dragon. We get riddle number 1 in an episode filled with riddles. Riddle number 1 is...
Well, first and foremost, I mean, who he's going after here. You have a little professor kind of hold up. Oddly enough, they reused a couple sets in this episode. So they reused Hugo Strange's set from the beginning of the season, where he's held up in like this hideaway. He had like the cell with the plastic walls you can write on.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's at right now. They reused the set.
Okay. So, anyways, yeah,
he's accosting Professor Dyson.
Yeah. And we'll get into why he's targeting intellectuals a little bit later on, but it's
like he's holding Professor Dyson at gunpoint. It gives him a riddle, which would go like,
I can fill a room or just one heart. Others may have me, but I cannot be shared.
And Dyson, he gets it wrong, much to Enigma's scary chagrin and utter frustration. He loses his cool on this guy. He is.
The first of many times Enigma loses his cool here. I love his reasoning for losing his cool. The guy gives the answer of knowledge, and he's just like, "Are you kidding me? Knowledge? You're a professor. You cannot. You spent a career sharing knowledge. That's part of the riddle. Are you an idiot?"
So this really plays into like a fun one of my hopes for Riddler in this series has come true this episode. So I was really happy with that, and we get there a little later. But this plays into it, but more so in this episode. I love we have this new take on the Riddler where he just gets super infuriated if you get the riddles wrong. Again, we learn the reason why that is later on. I just love this because usually it's like the Riddler, like he's gloating, he's all happy-go-lucky. Oh, I'm so much smarter than you. I was like, no, you idiot! You're ruining my fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you
So he just
imagine the
loses it.
Riddler trying to engage with someone like, let's say, Sam Loomis?
Oh
I
god,
don't
I
have to
get that.
talk to you. You're a freak. You're a weirdo. Ugh.
Oh
Anyways,
boy. So again, he loses on the professor. He's really what he's doing overall here is the reason one of the reasons he's really losing it here. Really, he's just really kind of snapping at people when they get the answers wrong. Is because he's he's kind of every time he yells, I figure it's like him airing out his guilt over killing the penguin. That's why he's like he's kind of so overbearing during these riddles. That's why he's so it hinges on him kind of proving a point here. And it's again, as we find out, the whole kind of crux of the episode is he's just trying to kind of these Riddler's processing his guilt over shooting his best friend in this episode. And that's kind of what you get. That's why he's so frustrated in these scenes
sure.
with all these wrong
Okay.
answers. And he apologizes for losing his cool. He ties the professor up with surgical tubing. And let me get rule number 2.
I can be a member of a group, but I can never blend in. What am I?
So then the professor, he yet again he doesn't know.
He just guesses a shadow, and then of course Nigma's just a shadow. What are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
So it's been revealed going into before we get the third rule. Enigma reveals he's been doing this with the other greatest minds of Gotham, which include each of these great minds of Gotham have failed the test. He mentions artists, writers, philosophers, all just completely disappoint him.
I love how he
And
puts it. He says they're members of they're stars of Gotham's intellectual and artistic constellation. That's just good wordplay right there.
it is. So Enigma then. So basically, Enigma's been trying to prove that Penguin's last words are wrong. That there is no the thing it keeps. We'll get a lot of times in this episode. There is no Enigma without the Penguin. There is no Edward Nigma without the Penguin. And those were Penguin's last words before he was shot. Before again that impromptu season break we just got.
Hey, your favorite character that you've loved since the first episode is dead. Good night, everybody. See you in 4 months.
And now Enigma is without his god. So again, the whole episode's it's Enigma processing his guilt and kind of looking towards what next, what happens with him now. His teacher's gone, so how's he gonna? His mentor is his kind of his guide in the world, in the violent world that is Gotham, is now gone. So how's he gonna move forward? And again, this is kind of his bizarre, twisted grieving process, giving kind of the quiz show from heck to everyone. So Enigma. So Enigma, again, he reemphasizes here that he knows who he is, but he is unsure of how to be him. Then we get riddle number 3.
Riddle number 3. Let's see. There was no me without. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm just reading off the notes. Hold on. Okay, I feel your every move. I know your every thought. I've been with you since birth, and I'll be here when you rot. What am I?
And he doesn't know.
And that leads to I forget exactly how the cold open goes, Dragon, but I know it ends in a very violent kind of way, if I remember correctly.
Well, it ends with a bang, to say the least, because I love this. This is what's great. The direction, this episode I thought was well directed, because we have these great kind of visual things, like these little subtle things that do pay off by the end of the scene. Like Enigma's going around, he's like tapping on like the flammable canisters, and like he sees the Bunsen burns.
Right.
Either he turns the Bunsen burner on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then by the end of the scene,
ends in a Dark Knight sort of way, and appropriately enough, because I kind of feel like throughout the episode he's sort of a Joker looking for his Batman, so it kind of ends with him walking away from the building, and in a Dark Knight kind of fashion, Dragon, you see like a part of the building blow up.
Yeah, essentially, when the professor got the third riddle wrong, he turned these giant canisters of flammable gas on, and he locked him in the room while he's tied up.
Right.
It's explosive, to say the least. When with this cool show, and Nick was walking away.
All right, and of course that gives us our cold open, solid cold open on Gotham.
Yeah, solid
props.
You're very right, very solid.
Gets the thumbs up from Poppy.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So Enigma's on to his next victim, which we'll find
All
out
right.
who that is. On to his next. So meanwhile, Catherine is testing Doppelbruce, because let's not forget, folks, because again, it's been a while.
Ooh.
Doppelbruce
Right.
was captured by the Corvallis. Like Talon injected Doppelbruce, and he was just kind of put into Catherine's limousine. That's it. The last we saw of him. So, well, I'm sorry. That's the main. That's in the recap. So that's one thing. The last we saw him. I actually saw like he's been prepped and ready, and now we're seeing how prepped and ready he is. Like he was up here at the end of the last episode we saw. Like close to the end of the last episode. The point is, Catherine is testing Doppelbruce's progress since capturing and training him. Some people have suggested he's been brainwashed, and we'll see how much that's come true. Like if he's actually buying into the court or if he's been brainwashed. Anyway, so he's been trained, to say the least, and he's been trained to say, he basically recount the Wayne murder beat by beat, like through like Bruce's first person perspective.
Even like I like the touch of having small memories, like he remembers the cat in the alleyway and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Of course, a little bit of a Selena Kyle reference too.
Yeah, of course.
So again, now Doppelbruce is a
Selena.
Yep. So now Doppelbruce is a disciple of the Court of Owls, which is a dangerous combination. And Catherine's saying, "Excellent, my dear." Again, I'm really liking Catherine. I've always liked Catherine.
She is fun. Yeah.
I think we have really good faces of the Court of Owls, because usually we don't get that. Usually we never really see the face of the members of the Court of Owls. We got in here and there, like kind of members, like towards the tail in the book. We saw a few people behind the mask towards the tail end, but we never really got to see like kind of reoccurring faces of like, oh yeah, these are notable members of the court. Anyway, so Catherine, she congratulates him. You truly are Bruce Wayne. And then she calls Frank with the news, tells him, okay, Bruce Wayne, quote unquote, is ready. Not those exact words, but Bruce, we're already here. And then, of course, now while she's been tasked with preparing Bruce, the Bruce Wayne side of things, Frank has been given a family matter of convincing his nephew. Because let's not forget a big twist of the last episode.
Let's just pick back up on this plot line. Gordon comes up to Uncle Frank's, and then 4 months later, we finally continue this family reunion.
No. He wasn't heading to see Uncle Frank. Uncle Frank stopped by his doorstep. But our time has passed.
Okay, well, you know what? That makes it even worse, all right? Because it's like we don't even know the context behind it.
Anyway, is basically the end where we saw Frank last. He just appeared at the on Gordon's doorstep. And they acknowledge the reason we're being so coy about this is that they do acknowledge in the episode weeks have passed, like here and there, and it's just really kind of like, why do they have to do it? It's silly. Anyway,
ridiculous, yeah.
Like a week I get, because again that happens. Like, okay, we can't do this episode this week, or 2 at the most, but like it's been months.
Right.
Well, it feels like months, probably actually like a month and change, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, Frank Gordon, of course, the long lost uncle that we're going to get a wonderful line from Bullock later on about, the long lost uncle of Jim Gordon. I know how silly that sounds, but so far they're winning me over on it. We have Frank Gordon is been tasked with winning over Jim so he can join the Court of Owls. The court wants Jim Gordon to join their ranks. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So Catherine reminds him
that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Catherine reminds him that if his nephew needs to be on board, or else essentially, or else he knows it needs to be done, which means if he's not with us, he's against us. Which means dead.
Right.
In other words, they'll send the Talon for his head. No, but
then we have Doppelbruce like, Alfred Pennyworth has been with me since birth, and he's been my guardian since my parents died.
So creepy. It's so creepy as she says, do the rest. And while he's saying that, she's like filling a needle. And we know what happens to that needle later on. It's so cruel. You don't know, like, oh gosh, she's going to inject him again just because she has to. Or again, I do like that. It's kind of like a little thing that pays off later on.
It's like a Winter Soldier type situation going on with Doppelbruce in a way.
Yeah, it's quite possible. We don't know how well they've been treating them. Probably, I don't know. Maybe the court's a little more civilized than the Indian Hill staff.
Sure.
Anyway, so as Jim arrives there, Doppelbruce is going through is going through the Alfred preparation. We're at the Cobblepot Mansion, or the Van Dahl Mansion, to be more exact. Nigma is taking hallucinogenic pills. After reading about the mayor's disappearance, again, this addresses like winks without the mayor.
Right. And now, Dragon, I got to admit, when I first saw this device, I was like, okay, this is a good compromise to get Corey, to keep Robin Lord Taylor on the show and, have him as kind of like the mother type character, if you will.
Of course, we've had this funny runner with Penguin in the last, season 2
literary
of Gotham.
references, yes.
Yeah, and the film references too, but mostly literary, because they think they're movies based on books.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Clockwork Orange,
Cinderella.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of, if you want to be technical, it still fits the mold because we have Robert Bloch's Psycho. Right. It's more Bates Motel, to be honest. But, I'm saying if you really want to keep the pattern going, you could always say,
of course, Mr. Robot did this before Bates Motel even did this, so.
No, it didn't. Bates Motel did before Mr. Robot.
Well, I'm saying the specific thing of having, the stand-in for the dead character.
All right. Let's not split hairs.
You're right. It's kind of muddy. It's kind of muddy, but anyways,
let's not muddy the waters. So
muddying the waters.
Oh God bless Paige. Oh, we love Paige. So the Penguin appears. So what we're saying here, we've been dancing around, is that the Penguin appears after Enigma takes one of these pills. There's a little box full of pills. Takes these pills. They're not to prevent hallucinations. They are Norman Bates would approve these pills. He would take these by the
Yes, he would.
Penguin appears soaked on the couch, and I love this idea that he appears as Enigma would imagine. What if Penguin lived through what I shot him? What would it be like? He'd be around, be hanging around, just be constantly covered in crap from the bay.
What's funny is that it kind of reminds me of something that they'd showcase in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, like a dead pirate who's constantly underwater or something like that. It's a cool effect. I like it. And then, of course, I love how Riddler's freaking out, what I tell you about drinking water on the couch.
And then, Penguin's point. Now, you're the only one who frets about drug-induced hallucinations making a mess.
Oh God!
Then we have this is a very, very, very minor gripe. We have this weird, out of place looking CG crab crawling up Penguin's arm.
That's what I'm talking about with the Pirates of the Caribbean, though. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. That bugged you too a little, just moderately buggy. It's CG.
Right.
I'm all for the crab. I'm just saying, we couldn't have gotten back in the Spielberg days. We would have had a real crab placed on the guy.
Back in the Spielberg days, man.
Now we're
Spielberg month coming up in June. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
It's on our minds. That's why. So basically, as he voices, so Penguin here essentially is voicing kind of Enigma, and of course, much in the Bates Motel style, we have our psychological perceptions of people voicing what our characters are thinking. So basically, it's kind of it's Enigma having a conversation with himself, only it's through the Penguin. So Penguin is kind of voicing Enigma's paranoia and the inevitability of what he's doing. In a way, he's pointing out what the audience and readers have pointed out about Riddler for years of why are you leaving clues for your crimes?
Right.
That's essentially what he's doing. He's voicing the logical side of Enigma, saying, "No, you shouldn't become a villain. What's wrong with you, you idiot?" So let's see. So
we basically kind of find out the whole reason why Ed's going on this killing spree, and it's basically to find a life coach.
A killing spree for searching for a life coach. God.
Oh God!
I love them. The staging of this is great. How we have them mimicking their movements, like when Enigma scratches.
Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you pointed that out. Yeah.
Scratches, Jim Diano. It's great stuff. So again, Enigma's chatting with his fallen mentor, kind of like a more dark, realistic Force Ghost, essentially.
Well,
until the ending, but yeah. Penguin is asking, why riddles? Why leave riddles? And then we get some cool insight to the Riddler's kind of motivation here, and we get some great dialogue from Riddler throughout this episode. To solve a riddle, basically talking about riddles. To solve it is to solve. To solve it is to solve the mystery of the person posing it. Basically, what this says is that Riddler, the reason he asked riddle, Enigma gives riddles as a way of improving and evolving himself, as he did via Kringle and via Jim Gordon, and he gave those people riddles, and in the end they kind of got him into his next arc. They progressed him as a character. He finds out more about himself the more riddles he gives. That's kind of been his justification. Which I do think is a really clever idea with the Riddler.
Yeah, you're right. I actually think in this show, surprisingly, it is like along with the Penguin, this show doesn't get enough credit for sort of like reinventing these villains. I think because the Riddler and the Penguin, I feel like these are like really, really good interpretations of the characters. That
is a really
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say it was a really clever idea of just again the Riddler. Hence, I wish they hit upon this a little later on when we get to it. But again, the fact that he asked riddles, not to question people at the end of the day, but to kind of question himself. That's an interesting concept.
All right. Okay then. And now, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bullock and Fox.
Oh, wait. We still got a lot of Riddler to go through.
God damn it, really?
Not a whole lot. That was just, so we got more, though.
You just ruined my bit. You just ruined my transition. Now I just want to crawl up into a hole. Go ahead and finish your Riddler stuff.
Anyway, so as I was
tell me when you're ready to get to my awesome transition.
I'll cue you.
All right, go ahead.
So so Enigma's processing Penguin's words via the conversation. Villains do not have teachers. Mm-hmm. Again, Penguin is ushering the evolution in Enigma. Enigma's plot by pointing out that Penguin was self-made. He points out Enigma's convinced that he needs that again he needs a teacher. Then Penguin points out he gets to one of my favorite elements that I've called for the whole series with Riddler. Penguin says he was self-made. He didn't have a teacher. When he threw Fish Mooney, and they're bringing up Fish Mooney because we're going to see Fish Mooney again, by the way.
Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you bring this up, actually, because I find it interesting that was sort of the breaking point for him. I mean, because we've seen him do other dubious acts throughout season 1, but that was really the turning point. I guess it makes sense because of the whole, like, I am the king of Gotham thing with Fish Mooney, but that was a little interesting observation to at least, I guess, like, what Enigma interprets Oswald's motivation to be, you know what I mean? Because there is that sort of gray area there.
Yeah. So Penguin's pointing out that he was self-made, and this leads Enigma to realize, he doesn't. This is the part I'm talking about here. Like, Enigma doesn't. Basically, Enigma realizes he doesn't need a teacher; he needs an enemy. Mm-hmm. I love that idea because I've always been saying, he's been in search of a Batman. Enigma, the reason he put
right. It is a very, like I said, it is very much kind of the Joker looking for a Batman in a lot of ways. Yeah.
That to me is an idea I've always been in love with the show. I've always been looking, especially ever since in season 2 when he targeted Gordon, because oh my god, he's looking for a Batman. He's looking for a Batman, and Gordon's been looking for a Batman figure. I thought those ideas have been so interesting. Like, okay, that's why Gordon's had these like figures like Penguin and these figures you can help him out or kind of on the outskirts of the law, and you have. And of course, you have this with the fact that he was going to go through all these people, as he quite literally does in this episode. He's going through all these the most intelligent people in Gotham, and keeps killing them, which is such like kind of a classic Batman premise. It's like kind of again dark '60s Batman. It's kind of
very much so. This episode definitely fits that mold.
But also, it feels like kind of very much like the '40s kind of Riddler of like you have these kind of the old era of Riddler, which is he has like kind of a spree, a pattern of crime, kind of classic Batman 101 type stuff. Criminals have a pattern, and we're kind of it's like a genuine mystery.
Sure.
So again, just the idea he's in search of a Batman, totally called, and I love it. Penguin is part of the psyche that points out that what's so interesting is season 2 we opened with Riddler as he was becoming the Riddler. He had the ego, and we had Edward Nygma. Remember?
Yeah.
And of course, here Penguin's a fun kind of reverse of that, where Penguin is the part of his psyche that points out, his ego and his gimmick are self-defeating, or the self-defeating trap. And again, he's a self-defeating villain, and this part of him is the logical side, and they would point this out. It's such a switch of the ego personality. It's like the ego saying, "Yeah, do more of this, man, more riddles, more everything." This one's saying, "No, you idiot, you're going to get caught. Stop it."
Sure. Okay, and then we have the Bates Motel back and forth going on.
Then we get one of my favorite lines from the episode.
Oh
Again, so
God.
please, basically, so after Riddler has realized, after Enigma has realized, okay, I need an enemy, and of course I knew this was coming. I was so happy, and I just love the fact that it's with the Penguin. Of course,
I
Penguin would
feel
have
like
this.
this is also a fourth wall breaking joke. Like, yeah, Gordon is kind of every villain's Batman on this show. Like every villain.
Well, it makes sense though, because Enigma and Gordon have had their rivalry and everything. And again, he was the original Batman figure he chose for himself.
Sure.
Because again, he just again Gordon looked at him funny. Essentially, he wasn't even remotely on to him, and he just kind of made Gordon his Batman.
Oh.
For that reason, says his just Penguin just trying to cut him off, saying, "Please do not say Jim Gordon."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's hysterical. So, gonna love the idea for one second. I love the last thing here before we transition. I love the idea that the need for a Batman creates Riddler, and Gotham set him down this path. Again, this feeding into the whole Gotham creating its villains and its heroes idea, which is kind of the crux of what the show should be going for. When the show's at its best, it's kind of playing into these ideas, kind of playing into these Scott Snyderian ideas.
Sure.
Gotham, it gave him, and how this kind of plays in the Gotham as the whole kind of scope of it is that Gotham set him down this path. It gave him purpose to make the inhabitants smarter. It's kind of the idea of Riddler. What he does as a villain, and the function of Gotham is you can only exist in Gotham if you're the smartest, most detective-like presence in Gotham. If you're smart enough, you can exist in Gotham. That's Riddler's challenge to the city. That's what set him down the path, and of course, until he meets Batman, the only opponent that could stop him. That's where it's a wonderful little tapestry.
Well, I mean, it's gonna make you
little...
wonder, like how he will interact with Bruce Wayne in the future.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And of course, they had their death trap scene at the end of 2, so
that's true. That's
cool.
true. Yeah.
Cool tease at that, and again, love it. That sets us. Speaking of character who was in that death trap, the wonderful and talented Lucius Fox. So let's see what that scene is like in this episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bullock and Fox, the new buddy cop spinoff coming soon to the ironically named Fox Network. All right, Dragon, I'm so sorry. I was like really proud of that transition. I was like totally jumped the gun on actually using it, and now I just totally ruined it. So we're just gonna, Bullock and Fox. Seriously, I just applaud the show for finally giving Lucius Fox his due and making him like a central focus of this episode, because he really earned it, man.
Yeah, such kind of a fun, inspired idea that, Lucius Fox has been the guy we've established who can solve the Riddler's riddles.
And then meanwhile, Harvey Dent is just in the corner, like, just biding his time, looking at his watch.
He's calling Howard Hamlin saying, "Come on, man, give me some pointers."
All right. But, so let's see. So Lucius is kind of laying out this pattern of targeting people of the intellectual community. Bullock's kind of skeptical about it. And Bullock also kind of points out that they're still, again, Dragon, weeks later, they're still dealing with the aftermath of Remember Jerome? Remember how that whole thing went out?
Well, one, that's kind of a fun fourth wall gag. Remember that amazing story we had with Jerome?
Right.
But also, it's kind of like, it makes sense. That was a huge event. There was like a lot of chaos and stuff. They're still probably cleaning up. So I don't mind like some of the explanations they have. It bugs me, like, why did we have to go so long with it?
Sure.
But again, I mean, it always kind of bugs me when they have to write that into the episode. They had to do that with another show I was watching. Flash. I won't date it too much. I won't say when it is in the season.
Okay.
Just say, in Flash, what they've done is they've nailed down an exact date, which basically says, on this day, which I checked the calendar, actually will fall on this day when the Flash airs. This happens. It's like, okay, guys, that's a little on the nose. Do we have to give the exact day? It's going to be like, oh, isn't that that's a promotional marketing thing? In 4 weeks, this happens.
Well, it's kind of like, you remember the SpongeBob thing where we just recently had like the day where Squidward travels to the future? Anyway. Or, of course, the most famous example, the Back to the Future 2.
Well, true. So, there's a Bullock and Lucius. So Lucius is telling him about the serial killer of smart people, as Bullock likes to phrase it.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Lucius actually knew the professor, Professor Dyson. He was one of his mentors, I guess, one of his teachers. Again, I like that we are tying a few things here, kind of mentorship, but later on, definitely reflections, which we'll get to. So Lucius Professor was the most recent killing. So Bullock's skeptical because again a lot of them were made to look like suicides or accidents. Again, kind of lab blowing up. I imagine like Enigma may have like made it look like kind of a suicide death trap for a few of them.
Sure.
Yeah, it's up Enigma's alley. So let's see. So then Bullock has some great lines. Any of those you like to share about the lab gag?
Oh, honestly, I don't have any Bullock lines written down here. I'm sorry.
Well, Bullock's pointing out, like, you getting bored down that lab, are you?
Right.
And Lucius is acknowledging, yes, a little, but that's not the point.
But I could kind of see it though. I could kind of see Lucius just kind of like biding his time, twiddling his thumbs, and he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be like the Harvey Dents of the world. I'm gonna go up there and demand screen time.
Yeah, because again, Lucius does want to be there. As we saw, like again, Lucius mentioned he hates the conditions of the GCPD, but I mean he loves the work.
Yeah, sure.
So again, he really cares. He really loves his job, and he really just loves kind of being part of helping out, which of course he's going to be able to do with Batman down the line. Let's see. So then after that, so Bullock again, Bullock's pointing at the leftover Jerome madness from his Jerome's Night of Murder and Mayhem, which I just love that as a title. That could have been a title.
I'd go to a Halloween Horror Nights maze around that, as we already pointed out that it is a great Halloween Horror Nights maze. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They have a missing mayor, and their hands are full. Their hands are full, and there are no resources to allocate for Lucius's hunch. And Bullock points out, see how I use the word allocate?
Right.
So I love this.
See, I can be smart too, Lucius.
I love that it ties into Bullock's story. By the way, is that he's reading up on for his big speech. He's kind of making a really eloquent speech. That's why he suddenly knows what allocate. He's just trying to incorporate in the day to day stuff. And that's also why he's dressing like Commissioner Gordon, by the way. That's why he's dressing in the fancies. He's wearing his best suit this episode because he's trying to pull off the later Commissioner look that Gordon wears constantly. I'm saying, again, you look at some of the, especially when we get into the death of the family at some point, you're going to see him Gordon dresses, looks exactly like Bullock does in this scene.
Okay.
So Jim, Jim's on R&R. As Bullock puts it, he's reconnecting with his long lost uncle. So again, Gordon's unavailable, and that's why he's not getting wrapped up in this Enigma stuff. Which, by the way, we've been really building. Gordon and Enigma have not had a scene together this season.
That's true. Now that you bring it up, yeah.
And again, they have some big issues to hash out because again, Gordon technically lost a baby and his whole relationship with Lee went to crap because of Enigma. Enigma's the root of all Gordon's problems.
Yeah, I mean, probably the worst stuff that's happened to Gordon through the series has been because of Enigma for sure.
Oh yeah, and they've never been able to kind of hash out how much they hate each other because of that.
Okay, but then we get a very bizarre, delivery system in place at the GCPD in the form of
this was priceless.
In the form of Hey Arnold style giant fruit. Tell me
you're right. Oh God, I didn't think of.
I literally just thought of that just now on the fly. I was like, oh my God, it is Hey Arnold.
Especially with the second one. The second one's absolutely Hey Arnold. So by the way, I have something that can beat that. You want to know what's funny?
Sure.
Look at IMDb, look for some names for like the professor and other characters, and we do have a name on one of the fruit guys.
Oh God.
So our fruit messengers, which is kind of Enigma's delivery system of choice to the GCPD, because who doesn't like fruit? Is it's fruit. It's a lot of stuff's flavored after fruit. I mean, of course, edible arrangements. Give Jim Gordon extra heavy on the pineapple. We get the fruit. That's an obscure Better Call Saul reference for the folks out there. Anyway, so fruit messenger's name is Bunch O' Grapes.
Bunch O' Grapes. Oh God.
Bunch O' Grapes.
Like Buncho, first name Buncho, last name Grapes.
It might be Bunch O' Grapes. But
I'd like to think of it as just Buncho Grapes. Buncho. Anyways. Okay, so he has a message.
Sister's Buncho Grapes.
All right. So he has a message. In the happy birthday. in the Happy Birthday tune, which I will not. I won't be reciting it in the Happy Birthday tune.
But I just want to point out the thing that just cracked me up real quick. So a man dressed in grapes walks in the GCPD calling for Jim Gordon, Jim Gordon. It's like the absurdity of which people just come in. There's always something going on with Jim Gordon. Like, the GCPD is always probably clamoring with, "Hey, Jim Gordon's up to something." Remember the guy's going through all this crap? He's not.
It's like an average Tuesday at the GCPD. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, some lunatic in a fruit costume running around looking for Jim Gordon. Yeah, whatever.
I was dying to be at the water cooler. Over here, the water cooler talk at the GCPD. Like, oh, do you hear what Gordon got into this week? What? Oh yeah, there was the guy in a fruit costume came in and called him. Get out of here! I don't believe you're putting me on. No, I swear to God, there was a guy in a bunch of grapes costume. Handed me his business card. Bunch of grapes. I'm not lying. Anyway, so then he goes into kind of his happy birthday theme.
Six masters have passed. There's about to be more. King, Queen, and their core. Key to saving them is on their card, so won't you please help save them? And he gives Lucius a card. Yeah.
Yes, gives him a card with a puzzle clue on it. Lucius, I love this. Lucius tips the guy. Tips him change.
Yes, I'm sure you noticed that. Yeah.
I just love the fact that Lucius had that. Again, Bullock didn't tip him because again, it's about murder and stuff. So yeah, he's giving him bad news. But I love the fact that Lucius tips him, but again, he kind of finds the ultimate balance. He tips him change, and the guy looks all disgusted at him. Hey, you got change, buddy. You got a tip.
Right.
You had to sing to a police department about plans of murder. You don't get cash for that.
Okay.
Anyways, then Bullock gives it a go on.
Yeah, basically Lucius kind of connects the dots. I don't know what you're going to say about Bullock, but Lucius connects the dots to, talking about the Knights Templar, connecting to chess, essentially.
Yeah, and basically a Knight's Tour. That's what all the squiggly lines, all the kind of the angular lines on the thing means. I was going to say Bullock's given it a chance because he was skeptical of what was going on.
Sure.
So he was given it a chance because Lucius kind of sold him on it. Okay, it's a Knight's Tour. Then we have this fun guy where Bullock's just completely lost on what it means. He says, "Yeah, and it means," and then just what a pause and Lucius absolutely knows what it means. A chess tournament, which is our next scene. Chess tour at the big Gotham chess tournament.
Yeah, all the kids are talking about it.
Yeah.
All right, so Riddler, he takes another.
And Fish Mooney's there. He's rooting for Bobby Fish or See, Bobby Fish is down there, and he's playing. Anyway.
Okay, so Riddler summons the Penguin and very politely thanks the Penguin for coming.
Not the Penguin had a choice, because again, he's an aberration of Digma's sick, depraved mind.
And then Dragon, I love this, how we cut to commercial, and then we come back, and Ed says like, "Oh, don't worry, you're gonna want to see what I do here." And then Penguin's munching on popcorn.
Yep. And I love this. This is so ridiculous. It's like Penguin's chowing down, Nigma's shouting strategies like from the balcony, like the old guys from the Muppets, like Statler and Waldorf from the. These are like the ultimate Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets.
Oh God.
Gotham. Yeah, one just couldn't care less, and the other one's saying, "Hey, do it better." So you can call anyone a grandmaster these days. I'm talking to you, Jeff Goldblum. That's what he's saying. But I want to make it clear, I'm full support of Jeff Goldblum's grandmaster. I'm in full support of that. So, Penguin trying to. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't know what you're talking about with the Goldblum and Grandmaster thing. I'm not connecting the dots.
He's playing Grandmaster in Thor: The Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. That's the name of his character. I'm sorry. I don't know the name of his character because I'm a casual. Okay. Anyways, I'm dumb.
So Penguin tries. Let's see. So Penguin tries confronting Nigma with the real reason for all this. We're getting this. I love the mystery. It's kind of the main sticking point of Nigma's search for an enemy. Like, again, while that is cool as seeing thematically, the big idea is what Riddler is going to be doing. But again, at his core, why all this is coming about now? Why he's kind of on the path of becoming Riddler now? So Penguin wants him to face. Penguin's trying to. The real reason for all this is, as Penguin points out, is that he can't. As he points out, you can't hide things from your inner psyche.
Right, right.
Again, he's just going to point out the Bates Motel logic, but like you can't really hide secrets from yourself. The other one's going to know.
Hmm.
And you, of all people, should know this. And I love how he points it out because, again, season 2, he's debating with himself about his ego, the Riddler ego he's been contending with. So he absolutely knows what this sort of thing's like, keeping secrets from himself because he had to go on a search for Miss Kringle's body through the GCP to keep the secret from himself. You need to face the truth. And again, Enigma's really trying to avoid facing the truth. We'll get more specifics on that soon.
So then, as soon as he sees the police show up, he's instantly kind of elated until he realizes that Gordon's not there.
Kind of my reaction, but
Yeah. God, really?
No, I'm not holding. I'm just saying it's my ordinary reaction of like, yeah, is he there? No, he's not. Let's see. But no, it's fine. Again, he's doing other stuff. So the GCPD arrive. No Jim Gordon, but who solved mine? They realize it's his old pal, Foxy.
Oh, Foxy.
Enigma is intrigued by this because, again, he's had a rapport with Fox. The only other guy who's been able to solve his riddles. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, it's Lucius Fox. That guy's giving me a run for my money. And we see early on what he's done is he's set charges, like electrifying charges, underneath the little chest timer. So basically, if someone hit the timer, they get like a big Zets. And now that the GCP are there, he activates it, and the few chess players, they hit their timers. No one, everyone move, everyone get out. Wait, no, everyone freeze. Because it's happening a few more times.
Forget what I just said.
He's no Captain Barnes.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Then again, he's not a psycho who's tearing people apart with his bare hands. That's probably a good thing. So we have guilty. So meanwhile, Jim and his Uncle Frank are playing catch up.
Oh God.
So again, Jim's asking some very straightforward questions. Why did you disappear? What happened between you and my father? Mm-hmm. And Frank's promising all in time, but he needs Jim to trust him. And
he's just kind of being vague. He's just sort of beating around the issue a little bit. But he does say that he regrets, like leaving Peter Gordon was one of the big regrets in his life. So we do get that at least. We
get a really excellent line that precedes that one. First and foremost, Jim saying, your family. Your family, of course I trust you. With that, of course, I like the sense that Gordon, on some level, he does believe in that, but that gets challenged this episode about his inherent kind of sense of trust. If someone's like family, it's like kind of instant trustworthy kind of cred you have. But then Frank Gordon, I'm thinking of the father. Frank is a really good line. I really love this line. I love him posing this to Jim Gordon because we've seen him go through this for about two or three seasons. In the beginning of season 3, definitely went through this. Crux of season 3, Gordon's gone through this. He says, have you ever done something that you felt was right at the time, but you would give your life to do over?
Sure.
Which, of course, Jim has, he's gone through in season 2, and he's been on the path of undoing that for season 3. So, again, all of that. I love how it's kind of tying into season 3 as well. It's a really good line. And Jim, of course, says yes. And then Frank relates it to himself, saying, he regrets breaking off from Peter, and he's returned to Gotham to reconnect with Jim, which is not entirely untrue.
Right.
Not entirely.
I will admit, I do like how they are playing Frank as kind of like, we still, even at the end of the episode, we're not entirely sure what side he's on. So
True. And of course, we have the wonderful James Remar, who not only can play kind of the supportive, kind of loving father figure, he can also play kind of the ruthless villain at the same time. So it's kind of hard to tell.
Exactly.
And by the way, I just kind of realized something. You tell me if this sounds crazy. You remember the Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman at all?
I'll admit that's one of the Universal monster movies that's not really fresh in my memory.
Well, it was in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. You remember that at all?
It's been a while.
I know you're gonna be reacquainted with it soon, but
yeah, it's been a while.
Anyway, well, remember Freakazoid when he ran to the Wolfman in Freakazoid?
Just get your reference, man. I'm not gonna. I'm sorry.
I kind of had this weird thing in the episode where I kind of realized, oh my God, James Remar will make an excellent Lonnie Talbot for the guy. he'd actually be an He sounds a lot like the Wolfman when he's like saying when the moon is full. When he's going over the history of the court later on, he's like, when it sounds like when the moon is full, I turn into the werewolf. It sounds, oh my god, he could actually be an excellent, if they ever did a
yeah, I
biopic.
will admit that that I did like the Benicio del Toro Wolfman and found that movie to be really underrated. So.
Well, my point is just because that biopics have been on my mind lately with the founder. I was thinking like, he would make an excellent, Lon Chaney Jr. if they did a movie about that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so following that, Alfred, get Alfred.
Alfred's teaching Bruce how to throw throwing stars, but yeah, I'd say
Knives.
Alfred
Knives.
Okay. I'm sorry. Don't crucify me. I didn't see what they were. But
well, of course they were.
Well, I'm sorry. It happens.
It's fine. It's fine.
Don't yell at me.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm just telling you they were knives. They were not stars.
But so Alfred, he's a little off his game with he's given good advice, but he's very much like as Bruce is going to throw it, he's very much like distracting Bruce at the same time.
Well, that's the point. He's trying to get him to go through distractions.
It's kind of like a golfer, you know what I mean? Like the guy yelling distractions at a golfer.
Yeah. And what's kind of cool about this is like, oh my god, Alfred's he's training him with I just got such a kick out of this. I'm a fan. Oh, he's teaching Batman how to throw batarangs. It's so cool.
In a way, yeah. It's a step towards that.
So Alfred's Alfred's distracting him mid-throw to prove a point, and he's using this as an excuse to bring up his distraction with Selina Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce denies that he's unfocused. Alfred shows Bruce a note that he received from quote-unquote Selina Kyle.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Asking for a meeting. And I like this. I like that Bruce is he's kind of playing hard to get here. I really like that thing. It's been, and this, again, bringing up the weeks thing, it's been weeks since we've...
Right.
It's been weeks since I've heard from her. It's going to take a lot more than a note to have me running.
Okay. So
it's kind of like a Peanuts, like Charlie Brown. I'm not going to kick the football. The other time she's pulled the football away from me.
Right. Okay, so Lucius is studying the chessboard. He's kind of looking at all the pieces, and let's see, Nigma. Oh God.
Lucius, he's going through the rigged chess equipment. He happens upon the chessboard, and he sees that he knocks the pieces over, and he finds on purpose. He's flipping all the chess pieces over, and underneath them, on the green parts of the little felty green parts of the chess pieces, he discovers a phone number.
And then, meanwhile, we have Riddler up on, overlooking this, and he's like, "Don't you know it's bad to go? It's rude to go through other people's mail."
The telegram. And he tells him Gordon's not in. As he calls him, they're kind of chatting it up on the phone. He basically informs. It's kind of like a Die Hard 3 moment where he informs Fox, "Now you're stuck. Basically, it's like Sam Jackson Die Hard 3. Now you're involved in this, whether you like it or not."
Sure.
He has to face the test next.
Then he gives a good riddle. I thought this was a really clever riddle how they got it all out. When the pawn's on queen, they'll be one step closer to the belly of the beast. That we get that answer, through how they find the next clue, which I thought was really clever. Anyways, so
and Enigma says he's one step closer to introducing himself to Gotham. We have the question mark portrait.
Yeah. So James Remar, not as good at trust exercises on this show as he is on Dexter. I gotta tell you, this was a very bad trust exercise. Or maybe it's funny, Gordon just not going along with the trust exercise, because Gordon literally like fires a gun just to make sure it's loaded, just to make sure he has ammunition against Frank. That is
that's a cool moment, though. Just the idea, first of all, I'm just thinking, okay, Gordon doesn't want to shoot the deer, and I'm thinking, oh my god, it's even better. It's like he wants to make sure he has ammunition, in case he turns on, in case it's like a setup of some kind. That's because again, I like that Gordon's been kind of I think Nigma, oddly enough, has also been a very good kind of don't want to put your trust in the wrong people sort of thing. So, Gordon's on edge with anyone he trusts. Basically, the minute Frank says he wants to reconnect with Jim, but still he's not getting straight answers. So he wants to make sure in case this guy isn't getting straight answers. He comes out of the blue. It's been 20 years. A little suspect.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's intentionally misses. And I like that Frank's a little offended by this. Oh, come on, Jim. he's still waiting for the promised truth that Frank said he would tell him. And then we get this, and I got to tell you, hearing James Remar say this, I thought was just undeniably cool. This Frank telling Jim the history of the Court of Owls, like, oh yeah, Remar talking about the court, and then of course we get the kind of the summarized version of the Court of Owls history, which is their century-old secret society made up of Gotham's oldest, wealthiest, and most influential families. They're devoted to maintaining. Now, this is an interesting detail that is not untrue to the Court of Owls, but it's specified, and I think will definitely play into a huge element of the end of the season. So it's important. He mentions that the Court of Owls was initially devoted to maintaining the balance in Gotham, and over time they became, over time and with the increasing power they got, they became corrupt, and they became their core mission became corrupted. So they were all about kind of exercising their power.
Sounds about right, if I'm remembering, based on the book.
Yeah, it's in line with the Court of Owls, absolutely. I'm just saying that we've never had it kind of like established that they start off as something pure that then got corrupted over time. That's kind of a interesting little detail. It's kind of, I'm just saying they're kind of, but you're right though, it does absolutely line up. You know, they had the best intentions for Gotham, but by their definition of what the best is. Anyway. So basically, it's kind of a little bit of a slippery slope of like, you know, well, we influence things. So basically, we're the final judges at the end of the day. We, the wealthy and the elite, choose what's best for Gotham. It's still it's developed into that, though. Let's see. So Peter and Frank were members. This is a big reveal in the whole conversation here. So Peter Gordon and Frank Gordon were both members of the Court of Owls. The court wants Jim to join the court now. Big reveal. Okay.
Oh yeah. See how that goes. All right, so the answer to the riddle was it was a pawn shop on Queens Avenue. I don't know, Dragon. That was just simple and fun.
I like the chess. I like the chess runner.
Yeah.
A lot of people nowadays are saying we got too much chess. We got too much X-Men. It's chess all over the place. I mean, come on, this is fun.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
All right.
So this was a fun little scene. You remember
Yes. Like Lucius he's getting up in this guy's face, and he's explaining why. He's like, "Oh, it's a personal space invading tactic, right, Bullock?"
Now this is like where we get the real buddy cop show.
Oh yeah,
where Bullock and Lucius are at their absolute finest, and this is like Bullock getting smarter with the interrogation techniques. He's always been pretty clever when it comes to interrogation. Basically, they're interrogating Winston Peter, an employee of the pawn shop, and Bullock's got basically we have the nice suit threat. So Bullock's in his nicest suit, which is true, but not inaccurate for if you were just lying to someone to make him think something. So basically, Bullock says, "Yeah, I'm in my nicest suit." Lucius hit him, and Lucius, of course, is the most nonviolent man.
Right.
Like, what? He says, "Hit him! I'm wearing my nice suit. I can't hit him." And then this is, well, no, we don't need to hit it. We don't need to hit him. It said belly of the beast. Hey, if you want to cavity search this big slob, by all means, go ahead. And I love this line; it's priceless. Winston here, he says, "You could just hit me."
Because I imagine he's just looking at Lucius. He's like, yeah, I could handle it. Probably wouldn't hurt me at all.
I'm gonna say, like, let's not get handsy here, guys. Let's just go with the closed fist versus the pointed finger. So and then okay, let's see. So then he reveals that he was covering for the owner's cousin who was working when the thing came in. Teddy Terrio or something. Teddy.
I know in my notes it's very close to the whole Max Terriot.
Yeah, I know. No, that's Terriot. This is Terrio.
I think it's Terrio. I think it's like
it's T-H-E-R.
You know what's funny? Is like it's in between the correct pronunciation of Max Terrio and Max Terriot, and then the pronunciation that we thought we were going with, Max Terrio. It's like kind of in between. It's Terrio.
We've been on so many different names for that poor kid. We've been butchering his name for 4 seasons, and we finally got it right for the last one. I feel so bad for that.
Well, we'll be praising the heck out of him for the series.
Oh, you're darn right. He might have not only stolen America's heart, but maybe stolen some prestigious gold awards.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Anyways.
Anyway, so in checking for the belly of the beast clue, Terrio translates to in Greek the last name translates to beast, which of course would play into the belly of the beast. So clue. Okay. And then Bullock points out, sometimes I think you make that stuff up.
Right.
All right, let's see. Meanwhile, Alfred is making pie.
And then Harry Osborn just gets his interest peaked, like, ooh, pie.
No, here's the thing, though. Harry Osborn, after he says he's making a shepherd's pie, you hear a knock at the door. And you have Harry Osborn shows up, and he has like a little bib on that says, I pie. It's like, it's a little slice of pie, and then pie written on the shirt. Oh, no, it's even better. Here's how it's even better. It's like breach one of our, this is the reference one of our colleagues here. It says, little slice of pie in the shape of, it's turned, turns to like the curved parts at the top, so it looks like a sliced heart.
Oh my god.
I heart, and then the symbol for pie.
Yes.
I heart pie. So you gotta remember, James Frank is also an intellectual. He's got a really high IQ. So, I heart pie. And he has like a little knife and fork and a plate in hand. It's like, did someone say pie? Can I come in? Please? Please, wrong franchise. Come on! But it's lunch!
Oh god. The Bullock's there. Did somebody say lunch?
He's got like a bib too. Just saying, I break for lunch.
Meanwhile, Howard Hamlin's just in the corner sipping tea. He's...
No, here's the funny thing. Hamlin's at the diner they're all supposed to be at ordinarily. Come on! He's like checking his watch. Like,
okay, us and our tangents.
Anyway, so pie aside, so Alfred's making shepherd's pie again.
All of that for pie. Wow.
To quote Hugh Neutron, endless pie.
Okay, so
remember, folks, all the pie references are on Tiki.
Okay, so he basically tells a story to Bruce about how he got the recipe for shepherd's pie.
The Sylvia anecdotes.
Yes, and
Bruce calls him on it.
You're just telling me a love story to get me to go with Selena. Well, yes, because it's an opportunity, Master Bruce, and I don't want you to miss the opportunity.
Opportunity to get closure. That's exactly what Alfred wants him to get. You should get closure. And Bruce agrees to it if he'll make Alfred stop. And I said, I'll keep the pie warm for you.
All right.
And by the way, that pie might be an important plot point. I kid you not.
I believe you. Okay,
so
I love how we get the detail on why Bullock's wearing the nice suit. Because he's going to give a nice heartfelt speech to the new cadets at the graduation. The academy graduation.
I like that for Bullock. Bullock's kind of coming to this. He was just kind of the somewhat soiled cop. And now he's kind of the example for the young guys coming into it.
Sure.
Which is nice. You're showing kind of Gordon's influence on Bullock too.
But of course, he's just being very boastful about it, and Fox is just like,
"How do I look?"
Gordon has to deal with it.
One of my favorite bits. Is this what Gordon deals with constantly? And then Bullock can't find his badge, and it's going to have like a Dark Knight-esque payoff.
Oh boy, yeah, it is.
Okay, so
meanwhile we have Penguin's chastising Enigma over the chess killer name.
Oh, I'm so terrified of the chess killer. Lord Taylor is so great. It's like a fun new variation on the Penguin. We've had a few of them again with all these literary references. They have yet another one. So he points out that Penguin made Edward Enigma the man who controlled the city's underworld in plain sight, which was an impressive achievement. See, and importantly, at the moment, Enigma could still go around still acting upon the mayor's orders, or he can still have some sort of clout in things. So he still has all the power.
Mm-hmm.
And then Penguin's importantly pointing out this Riddler, all this kind of these so close to being Riddler crimes. This is madness. And Enigma is arguing, no, it's a way forward. And your fear confirms that. I like this. This is kind of Enigma kind of confirming that, hey, the fact that you're afraid, basically he's trying to understand his own psychology here, saying, hey, the fact that you're afraid of this means I'm going somewhere with this, which is
sure. Yeah.
The Penguin warns Enigma. I love this as I go. This is a very accurate warning the Penguin's giving him. He warns Enigma, you got to admit that you're lost without Penguin before you destroy everything. Basically, what that means is, he acknowledges that if you announce yourself as a villain and a murderer, there's no going back after that. You're going to be, again, your whole, you could have plausible, you can fly under the radar right now the way you stand. But if you go for making yourself a target and everything, you're going to throw all that out the window. There's going to be no going back. Enigma's just kind of shunning that. But then Penguin takes through this one.
Oh boy, I don't even know where to start, Dragon. Oh man, I just love it. It's like we get Robin Lord Taylor just all up in like kind of like a. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost kind
of
the
one thing that Vera Farmiga didn't do in the mother persona that would have been great.
Yeah, we never got a song and dance number on Bates Motel, and you know what? That thought kind of came to my mind, Dragon, of like, man, if only we could have gotten like the musical episode of Bates Motel. Like Flash had a musical episode.
Well, we've true, you're right. Flash did a musical episode, and technically Vera Farmiga has sang twice. Well, three times.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Technically four times you won't be.
We haven't had anything like this though, where like kind of stretches. Oh man, and it's just great. And like I said, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like Robin Lord Taylor, like it's kind of like the word that comes to my mind, Drag. I have no idea if this is even accurate or not, but is vaudevillian. It's kind of like a vaudevillian get up. Is that accurate to you?
Well, no, he's in a tuxedo and with a top hat. So basically, what he's doing here, he looks exactly
like a vaudeville actor, like the tux and top hat. That's vaudeville.
Sure, I guess. Yeah,
it is.
Anyway, what's really cool is that when he's in the tuxedo with the hat, he looks exactly like Penguin from the comics.
Sure, yeah.
Which is really cool. All he's missing is the umbrella, but again, it looks amazing.
Of course, I love how the sequence, we get kind of like the distorted filter on reality here, so the camera's kind of
the old film.
Yeah. Really well done, really creative.
Nigma really needs to lay off those pills.
Right.
And all of this is kind of basically his psyche kind of going overboard and is really distracting him, but then admits, okay, I admit a part of him, a part of me, part of Enigma died. Basically, he's saying a part of himself died when he killed Penguin.
Sure.
But he will move forward and be born anew. He's desperate for kind of that, for being born again. He's desperate to kind of be reborn as the Riddler. That's his destined path, and that's what he's convinced his destined path is. And then, of course, there's no Enigma without the Penguin. Then we get this cool shot of Penguin with the portrait question mark shot.
Yes, that was like kind of one of the big teases going into this episode from January.
Yep. Let's see. And Lee, and Lee was fine this episode, nothing bad.
I just have in my notes like Lee's just kind of like putting her head down and just being very sheepish, just like she's on her best behavior.
Yeah, but I do fear for her this season. There's something in the marketing that's making me a little worried.
Well,
anyway, so we have.
I mean, as long as Gordon's like off on this Uncle Frank thing, they're not going to be I think Lee is fine until she interacts with Gordon.
I don't. We'll see. We'll get into it later. But let's just say that Lee. So again, while we can acknowledge it, the wonderful Morena Baccarin.
Right.
It's while we can say that with certainty, like, oh yeah, this is like back to kind of good old Morena Baccarin. Yeah. She's showing Fox that Therio's body, or Therio's body. Darn you pronunciations! It was the guy's body, and they find again kind of like the Dark Knight. Find kind of a stapled incision on the guy's stomach, and they find a badge in the belly of the beast. And not only is it a badge, but also while she's doing this, she's mentioning this is kind of neat. Fox is asking, this is a fun build for the ending, fun foreshadow for the ending that. Lucius Fox is asking, why would someone do kind of this? You worked at Arkham Asylum. Why do insane criminals do this sort of thing? And Lee's suggesting that the crimes are a way of learning about themselves. They're exploring an aspect of their psychology by enacting these crimes.
Well done, Lee. Well done. You contributed to the plot and you shed some insight into the Riddler. Let's all give her a golf clap, people. Let's all give her a golf clap.
Got like a little box of gold stars. We got a little box of gold stars and like little stickers of gold stars. We don't have that kind of money, so we give her like a little gold star on the white lab coat. Lee, you did a good job. You can go early for your lunch break.
Oh God. Okay. All right. So meanwhile,
there's a free muffin on us.
Oh God. Meanwhile, we have
So,
Bullock. Bullock's reciting his speech that he's going to give.
well, the
Before
badge
he
was
goes on.
Bullock's, by the way. That's why we're
Yeah.
The badge was Bullock's.
And I love how the big key part of Bullock's speech is to have plenty of antacids on hand, which Dragon
The prime
is...
rib speech.
No. I gotta say, as someone who suffers from a lot of indigestion and heartburn myself, that's really good advice. That is really good advice, because heartburn and indigestion can just like put the brakes on your day. So follow Bullock's advice, people. Always have plenty of antacids ready. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Okay. So then Bullock is unpleasantly surprised by Nigma, because he's there to kind of give a few words, which of course there's no way Bullock's letting a cop killer give a speech to impressionable cadets.
Sure.
So Bullock gets a call, and then the Nigma interprets that, okay, that's the call about me, so then he just knocks out Bullock.
Right.
Meanwhile, Bruce, oh boy, is this the scene? Yes, this is the scene. I gotta talk about this.
Okay.
Yay! So, Bruce is looking for Selina. He runs into Sonny Gilzine.
Are you really that excited to see Sonny Gilzine?
No. I'm excited for what follows. I'm super excited.
Okay.
But we have Sonny Gilzine, who initially in the past I've been a little iffy on Sonny Gilzine because they had that really forced like Joker laugh scene, which right,
I forgot about that.
That was back because we love the idea of the multiple kind of the Joker-like characters, but still Sonny was always pushing it. It was like he's laughing. So he calls him like a brutish. He calls him a brutish clown. That we had. That was like that was the most forced Joker-esque character.
Yeah, right.
So this now it seems like they moved past it. So at least I just love the idea that Gilzine has a nephew, Sonny Gilzine. It's so ridiculous and funny. Sonny Gilzine, ridiculous. Anyway, so Selina, Gilzine's about to mix up with Bruce because last time Bruce kind of got the upper hand. He beat him up as a dude and really got into it. That was a cool moment. Say, listen, Bruce kind of punched that guy in the face. Anyway, so Selina stops the altercation. She's still not pleased with Bruce, which I will say, as much as I do love what follows in this scene, it kind of took a little bit out of it. Come on, Selina. Again, in these weeks that have followed, you still have to
right.
I will say
I think it's just more of a kind of the writers kind of wrote themselves into a corner with the weeks have passed thing, I think.
No, but honestly, there's just still something towards the end we really weren't crazy about this whole Selina it's kind of a Bruce was screwed either way. He didn't tell her the fact that her mother was a con artist, but the fact that her mother was conning her, and still he did that to spare her feelings. He did something nice for you, Selina. I know it's not like again, it's an unhappy truth, but you don't have to still hold a grudge against them.
Sure.
I'm saying I think she would be a little bit more past it by now, but I don't know. So she has business with Sonny, and that's, of course, why Sonny Gilzine is in the scene. She tells Bruce to go home, and before she goes, Bruce asks her, well, look, if you don't want me here, why'd you send me a note? And I called this, by the way, I knew this note was a trap. Very start. I knew something was off here. So she says, I didn't send you a note. And of course, it indicates that Bruce, okay, something's up here. And then we have, first of all, it's a really cool moment, followed by one of my favorite parts of the episode. So, Bruce says, Sonny Gilzine's up. Shame your girlfriend's gone. And Bruce has his fun line. Says, I don't think she's my girlfriend. Gilzine,
Sonny agrees. He's like, yeah, I don't either.
I just like that kind of casualty before battle. By the way, just that little happy-go-lucky bit before. You know what?
Sure.
Yeah, she's not. And then, of course, back to the money. And he's basically trying to mug Bruce, so we know we get this. But oh boy, I love this part. So, this wonderfully shot and shadowed Bruce Wayne fight scene. Oh god, it was so.
It doesn't quite reach the heights of let's say a Daredevil hallway fight, but it's definitely better than anything we see in Iron Fist.
Come on, you're just jumping on the bandwagon for that.
To be fair, I still haven't seen.
That's what I'm saying. You don't say that. You haven't. You're just jumping on the bandwagon for that.
Anyways.
Oh, twinge of shame. Life. Oh, twinge of shame.
Twinge of shame. Okay.
Twinge of shame.
But the point is, I'm trying to make an accurate comparison here. All right. I'm just saying I don't think that I agree with you. It's a very well shot action scene. I don't think it quite measured up to the heights of a Daredevil hallway fight, but I think it is very good. I like how they use the kind of the pseudo silhouette look in the fight scene.
Yeah. Again, it takes them back to kind of the opening of the animated series. We're in shadow.
Yeah.
those kind of how we kind of shoot far away. He's in shadow. He has kind of the long coat on, so it's kind of cape-like. It's really neat. And of course, Bruce at this point is very well trained by Alfred. And we see how far he's come along. He's much more skilled than ever.
You know what? I will admit the whole like Bruce being trained thing is something that surprisingly paid off very well throughout the seasons.
Yeah, because he took one hit, but then that was just the introductory. Because we took more Batman against Street Thugs won't be taking any. It's like unless they're like unless he's really off his game. So, he takes one hit, but then he doesn't take a second hit. He takes him down. He elbows Sonny, and then he's punching the rest of them. And again, in silhouette, it looks. In shadow, it looks great. It's a really cool scene. I was just like pumping my fist in the air. Yeah, that's my guy. That's the man who will be Bat. Yes. Okay. I really love that part. So,
all right. So we have Nigma. He's kind of in the full Riddler like suit at this point, which is very cool.
Not the full Riddler suit. That's
You're right. They keep building it. But he is.
It's like 80% Riddler.
Green. Yeah. And he said he's kind of like making an obvious like, oh, Captain Bullock's tied up at the moment. Wink.
Which is funny.
Right,
so it's really cool that right here, this is sort of his, before he has a name, this is his villain introductions. He's making a grand entrance of a supervillain.
Oh, sure.
He riddles the cadets, which goes like?
Light as a feather, yet no man can hold it long.
And I love this. He has fun little lines of no future commissioners here.
Right.
Well, I just might have enjoyed that more than others, but yeah, it was kind of a cute line. I like that. Then he throws like a little a gas bomb at him. A few kind of gas canisters at him, and your breath. Answer to the riddle. So Lucius.
Oh God, he runs. Again, an average Thursday for the life of a GCPD person, just running into a strawberry.
I just love that. The minute he walked in, I guess that's for me.
Which you're right, Dragon. This is very much like the Hey Arnold thing.
That lady Monk Gerald.
Oh God.
She stole Gerald's costume.
Well, to be fair, they did ditch the costumes in the dumpster, I think. Right?
All right. True. That lady's been dumpster diving.
Oh,
well, more specifically, whatever her messenger company has been searching for their costumes. They've been shopping at a discount.
Okay, so I love this kind of like dark 60s Batman trap here, Dragon. Harvey.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
Tell me you caught this. We had the 60s ringtone.
I did not catch that. No.
Well, it was awesome. What they did is for Riddler's ringtone. This is great. The Riddler of all characters. They had the transition. Da.
Oh, okay.
That was his ringtone. It was like the.
Okay, so I really like this trap, and I like how it's not necessarily a death trap, but it kind of just plays on your psychological fears. Like Bullock's about like 5 stories up or so on a staircase, and he's being dangled over on a chair, and it's like I like how it's like if he falls, like he's not necessarily going to die, but it's going to be very painful, and it's just the dangling over the edge that is more the torture more than anything else. I think it's a very clever death trap in that way.
Well, here's the parameters. Here's essentially what's being said. So again, they realize Fox knows on the phone that it's new because who else calls me Foxy, and Enigma. Basically, Enigma says he's poisoned. He claims that he's poisoned the room full of cadets, and around Bullock's neck is the antidote. And essentially, he wants him to play his little game, and he goes to the stairwell. Which, by the way, I love the location of the stairwell because I love that we can have Enigma on a higher level, and we can have Fox like right above him on like one level lower. It's great staging, great location
you're right.
For all this stuff to go down on. Let's see. So then, essentially, the rules are very simple. It's basically 3 ropes, 3 riddles.
Mm-hmm.
3 ropes, 3 riddles. You get at least one right, you win. Can't get any fairer than that, as he says. Basically, you get one right, you still pass. So again, it's the ultimate kind of fair thing. And as we're going to find out later on, the reason, he's not entirely. The reason it's why it's not like an instant death for Bullock is he's not exactly trying to. Believe me, I still think Bullock would die if he fell that. Like, it's not a guarantee. It's most likely commodity.
I don't want to argue the semantics of it, but like I said, can you agree that you like the psychology of like having him dangled over and like playing on Bullock's fear of heights? I thought that was kind of clever.
True. Let's see. So, yeah, you're right. That's good. I just kind of like the kick. I love how it looks. Though. I just love how we have Bullock kind of teetering this whole scene, panicking as Lucius tells him to remove the
Right,
the
right.
tape. So Bullock, after every rope is cut, he's panicking, saying this wonderful, fearful gibberish.
Oh God.
Well, not gibberish, but he was just saying these wonderfully kind of fearful. Oh God, I got. So he was so terrified. It's kind of like it's like the kick from Inception. You know, like that sense of falling when you like
It
the
is.
chairs
Yeah,
like 2
you're
feet
right.
off,
You're right. Yeah.
like 2 legs are off the ground. That sort of feel, but it's like a greater fall.
Okay,
So
so riddle
yeah.
number one. I can fill a room or just one heart. Others have me, but I cannot be shared.
So so here's I'm sorry, is that it?
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, the answer. Now here's the interesting part. I want to analyze this for a moment. Is that all of these answers, by the way, are kind of tied into a theme, possibly, which I'll get to at the very end after we go through all three. But the answer to the first one, Fox says love, which I believe is the correct answer. I couldn't find the answer to this one. I was trying to double check, and this one I could not find, but I believe love was the actual answer.
The answer that Nigma wants that
Yeah.
he's looking for is loneliness.
Yeah, he says loneliness, which I still don't think makes sense, but it's loneliness filling a room, but I think it means lonely, but that doesn't matter quite. So I still think like he's just the way Chris Chalk, the actor, portrays Lucius, the way he looks like kind of side to side. I think he knows I got that one right. What am I dealing with here?
Sure, sure.
I don't know, because I think again, because then Enigma's baffled how Fox would get that wrong. So I don't know. That one's kind of one to read into, I guess. But if you folks out there can find the answer, like kind of give us the official ruling, it'd be appreciated. But either way, loneliness, love, it might be one of kind of what we run into with the second row, which goes a little something like.
I can be a member of a group, but can never blend in.
Which Lucius's answer is snowflake.
Yeah, yeah.
Nigma's answer of choice is individual, and I love that Fox argues that snowflake is an acceptable answer because the answer is also individual.
But of
Each
course,
snowflake is-
let's just point out Corey Michael Smith just absolutely going out of his way, just pissed as hell. Like, like we're talking like blood vein on his forehead, just like no.
The way he just like yells no, and then Bullock says something.
You have to give my answer.
Yeah, because I don't think you understand the rules here. They basically Nigma makes rules. You have to guess my answer. So then he cuts the second row, much to Bullock's fear. He says, "Oh, Mama, I'm sorry. Oh, Mama, I'm sorry. Oh, God." Somebody starts with, "Oh, Mama."
Oh, God.
Kind of like a Johnny Bravo kind of fear before. It's kind of like John Bravo exclaiming and playing. Anyway, so before real number 3, he starts to lose his cool. He's starting to doubt himself, and in a way, he's thinking that Penguin may have been right. That this is not the way to go down. He's pointing a gun at Fox's head. He then composes himself, and of course, he reminds himself of the rules, 3 riddles, before he makes any rash decisions. So we get riddle 3.
I feel your every move. I know your every thought. I'll be with you. I've been with you since birth, and I'll be there till you rot, which is a repeat of the one we got before.
Yes, all of these are, because he's asking the same 3 rules to the smartest minds in Gotham.
Right.
Okay. So let's see. So Fox, I believe before he gives the correct answer, he points out he's asking about the Penguin, because it's the way Enigma's talking, sounds like he killed the Penguin, which is news to Bullock as well. So they're kind of learning, like, oh boy, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So Enigma then repeats the riddle, and Fox gives the correct answer. Reflection, which initially Bullock, they play really tense, like again, because
why does it always have to be 3 answers? Why can't it be 4? Come on.
Which is funny. Again, I do like the tension here, because you're not sure. Again, with that, for the way those first 2 riddles go, you don't know like how on the money Enigma's being with them.
Sure.
So, right, so then correct, and then. Because there's only one rope holding Bullock, it's like the one to the very left. Like it's like not even holding the middle.
Right.
It snaps, and Enigma goes, "Oops!" Because again, he's learning. He's just starting out. Now here's a problem I have with the episode here. One, it's really convenient that Bullock was so easily saved by Lucius.
Yeah, I agree.
Basically, Bullock falls.
I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it, but I was kind of like, yeah, that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I'm just saying Yeah, part of me, I just want to write it off because it's learning curve for Enigma, so it's like he can make some mistakes like that. And as we learn later on, his priority is not killing people; it's finding someone and challenging Fox. Those are the priorities. The priority is not killing cops.
Uh,
So it's debatable how much he wanted Bullock dead, but it's kind of hard to tell. But the fact is, like, he just falls from one flight. Just Lucius Fox, thankfully, has been at the gym lately, working at the gym lately. So he's able to pull. He was able to catch Bullock and pull him up in a chair from one flight down. He had to act really fast, so it's, I don't know, bit of a buy for me.
I hear you. I hear you.
So let me mention this before we move on. So with all the riddles, I love thematically all of those three riddles. They are all about identity. I can let's assume the first one's love. Even if the other one's like loneliness, it still fits what I'm going for here. Is that love or loneliness, followed by individual, followed by reflection. Those are the three answers. So what they
Hmm.
connect to in terms of theme for Riddler's arc, in fact, a lost love, which would either again be about love or be about him being lonely after losing that love. Uh, Moving forward, which of course is being individual. You got to individualize yourself from the Penguin. And then lastly, finding a new match, finding a new mentor, finding your enemy.
Right, right.
Reflection, someone who reflects you, reflects your intelligence. So I'm saying I like that all the rules were not only just like to trick people up, they were to find the ultimate enemy or kind of find the ultimate mind.
That's kind of like Nigma's own sort of like psychology coming out within the answers a little
Yeah, it's
bit.
like again, which is what Lee kind of told us.
Sure, sure.
Okay, meanwhile, yes. So,
Okay,
Bruce,
so yeah, Bruce comes upon Doppel Bruce in the alley.
he was just kind of wiping some blood. Speaking of reflection, he's walking down the alley.
Right, right.
He's finally he's bleeding from that one hit he took in the Gilzine debacle. So he's wiping the blood from his face, and in the broken mirror, we have Doppel Bruce revealed, which of course the theme of reflection again, kind of
Oh
Bruce,
yeah, oh yeah.
the dark reflection of Bruce Wayne, and kind of the reflection that Enigma's been looking for the episode. We have the I love this Doppel Bruce's theme. I love it. It sounds directly like a Danny Elfman cue. It sounds like a Batman.
You're right. It kind of does.
It sounds exactly like a cue. It sounds like honestly, it sounds kind of like the Catwoman cue from Batman Returns.
Yeah, I can see it.
Also, kind of Men in Black too, if you want to be specific. But anyway, so of course he's dressed like Bruce, and it's a Bruce. Sorry, Bruce says the Doppel Bruce, and you sent the note, didn't you?
Right, right.
So again, Doppel Bruce is here to replace him. That's why he's dressed exactly like him. And then we have this line. This line. Oh, TK, I was so happy with this line because it feels directly pulled from the book. Yes. It's like looking into a mirror, which of course is like, yeah, Bruce, this is the other side of the mirror when he slams him right into the building. Remember?
Sure, sure.
Yes. Basically some big calls from when our Doppel Bruce in Court of Owls does a lot of this stuff to Bruce. It's like fun little pulls from the book here and there. He then, after he says that, he injects Bruce with the serum, the knockout serum that Catherine was preparing earlier on. This is what I was made for. And I love the way David Mazoux says that. And then Doppel Bruce said, and the idea Doppel Bruce has found his purpose with the Court of Owls, again, directly modeled after Court of Owls with the Lincoln March character.
Sure, sure.
Again, to be Bruce Wayne, he says.
That's good stuff.
Okay.
Let's see. Gordon's kind of grilling Uncle Frank about the lies and whatnot.
He's questioning how. Like, how is all this possibly in the court? Like, why now? Frank says, the court lied to he and his brother. Frank believed in the court's principles, which again initially founded on good things. You got to assume that's the Court of Owls induction thing. Yeah, we believe on these founded principles.
I think is a really interesting concept that kind of fits in line with Gordon and kind of the life he leads and the sort of the thin line that gets drawn with being commissioner in Gotham. You know what I mean?
And you got to remember, it does make sense that. Just
Yeah,
so people, if there's anyone out there who's like kind of arguing conveniency for why Gordon's wrapped up in this, let's remember this also kind of goes in the comic that again we still know nothing about Gordon's father in the comic, but Gordon's name was in the Court of Owls book, so it's I believe if I'm right, Gordon's heritage, like his family has also been kind of like a lineage of policemen or been involved in law in some way.
Right.
And here, specifically in the Gotham universe, we've established that Gordon's father was a prominent attorney, and it's kind of like you get a sense that, okay, like a prominent law-involved family in Gotham would be a target for the Court of Owls. So we get kind of the head DA of Gotham and his brother involved in this, and then go down to Gordon, the detective on a path to maybe become commissioner one day. So
Mm.
Frank believed in the court's principles. He now despises them with every bone in his body. Peter changed Frank's mind. Peter's the reason that Frank turned against the court of owls, because Peter saw through the lies of the court. He saw the heresy in what they were doing, which of course lines up with what Gordon really admires about his father, kind of the Commissioner Gordon, like not wavering in the face of corruption mentality.
Mm.
Which Frank feels guilty that he didn't listen to Peter until it was too late, until Peter was murdered by the court, which is a big reveal.
I love how Gordon is like, wait, no, I was in the car. I watched my father die. That's impossible.
It's kind of like the Winter Soldier reveal from Civil War.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's more like, I should say Winter Soldier, because we didn't know the specifics of it until Civil War. But the fact that Winter Soldier was involved in the murder of the Starks,
Mm-hmm.
that's something we kind of knew in so it's kind of like that big reveal of, oh yeah, we're seeing, we knew the Starks died in the cars. We didn't know it was like the work of Hydra. Bum bum bum.
Right.
So again, that's they orchestrated the car accident, which is a really cool idea. I gotta tell you that.
It's like, especially because car wrecks are just they're simple. You know what I mean? They're clean. They're efficient.
Folks, watch Lethal Weapon. You'll see a similar kind of method.
Yeah, it's essentially like, just a good way to put someone off the map without drawing suspicion of foul play.
Yeah. And again, it's so traumatic because, like, Gordon, I love this idea, and this to me feels so Scott Snyderian. So Scott Snyder-like. I don't want to keep trying to say Snyderian. The point is, it feels so Scott Snyder like, because it's like kind of these are like the creepy ideas Snyder loves to work with. Like usually with Bruce Wayne, it's kind of Bruce Wayne's arc in Court of Owls through Gordon. Here's that something that was right under his nose and he never noticed. Like Gordon was in the car when his father died. He had no idea that it was the work of something bigger, something else. And it's basically the idea that now Gordon is going through, Bruce Wayne has gone through in the seasons of Gotham. Now he's found that his father was murdered, like the Waynes were murdered by the same person, by the same people, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the court's responsible for the murder of the Waynes, and now the court's also responsible for the murder of Gordon's father. So again, they have that much.
I'm convinced that the writers had this like planned out all along, but you're right. Like getting to that point is a pretty satisfying arc.
Well, the Gordon idea, I'll bet you, was not from the very start, but Court of Owls could have. Now, an argument. I don't know how far ahead they planned it, but the Court of Owls thing could have been planned from the start, feasibly.
Who knows?
Anyway, so let's see. So again, Gordon's questioning a lot, again, questioning the suspiciousness of this thing. 20 years later, you come back now. Where were you when my mother and I needed you?
Mm-hmm.
He says, I had no choice. I was sent overseas to test his loyalty. Why would you stay with the Court of Owls? And he was in like life or death situation. He chose to live. Why risk it now? Why risk coming to me with this now? And he says, well, they want you now, Jim, which means, I'm not alone in this, which means I could have someone else on the inside. You can help me destroy them from within, which essentially was kind of, again, this question's kind of the character of Frank a little bit, because Darth Vader had the same offer for Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. Hey,
but I do like how they're playing with us here with Frank, where even by the end of the episode, we're still not entirely sure how he's leaning.
True,
so I think it's interesting.
It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we can destroy him from within. We can bring democracy and law back to Gotham, which is a cool offer. It's a cool notion. Why? And then Jim's saying, "Why should I trust you? Because we're family." Again, kind of throwing his own words back in his face. And Frank says, "We all have to believe in something." Saying, "What choice do you have? Do you want to live in a world where you know this exists and you did nothing?" Essentially, is what he's saying there.
Sure.
And then last notion I'll say here before we move on. So again, Jim, I love that. Again, another Snyder idea here is that Jim's intrigued by the idea of ridding Gotham. I think Jim's intrigued by the idea of ridding Gotham of the root of major corruption in the city and avenging his father's death, like Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bruce has been trying to do. Again, kind of another strong connection via the Court of Owls, the two of them share. But you see what I mean? There's, Gordon's definitely intrigued. He would definitely be he'd probably be joining Frank for the grand scheme of helping Gotham.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Gordon, like, he is kind of in a crossroads now where, of course, we infamously joked about him not being a part of the GCPD, and he was reluctant to come back to the GCPD. So there is that whole kind of dangling thread where his loyalty to them is kind of, he really is kind of a nomad at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, Alfred.
Okay, so we get the clever exposition through the radio that the Riddler's been missing still, and
Of the
that
man in the green
Nigma's,
suit.
yeah,
That's his
Nigma.
nickname on the radio. The man in the green suit.
Right, right. And oh god, here we go with Doppel Bruce. This is really fun. So Doppel Bruce is very chipper to see Alfred, And then, Alfred's just like, my Master Bruce, you look very chipper. I assume things went well with Selena. The Dragon, I'll wager this might be the funniest David Mizzou delivery we've ever seen on the show. He's just like, Selena. I mean, I'm like, the way I say it doesn't do it justice. It's like he's so blasé about it.
But I think it's far more convincing than he was before he was pretending to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's a little too chipper, but yeah, he's a little. He's a little.
I mean,
more
I still think it's chipper enough that I think Alfred's gonna suspect something's up, but it's still, it's
kind of the leave it to Beaver, like happy-go-lucky person. It's like,
shepherd's my pie sounds delicious.
So that's what I think. Now here's my plot point here. I think the pie tips Alfred off because there's a little music cue that plays. I'm serious. When I've watched it twice now, and this happened the second time too. It's like when the pie is mentioned. I knew I heard this the first time. When the pie is mentioned, there's a little dramatic music cue that plays like a little twinge of like, and I'm still convinced that Alfred, like, because Bruce wasn't thrilled about the pie. He says, well, Master Bruce, I'm really hoping that Alfred's like playing along with Doppel Bruce because he knows the pie gave it away.
That's nice. I hope that's correct, Dragon. That'd be really clever on your part.
At the very least, I want him to be suspicious after that.
Right,
okay, I want him to, it's at least like, okay, something's up with this kid. I don't want to take it so long as it did with our Clay Gordon with Clay Gordon.
Right.
Eating the snacks.
As we established in that episode, that was just like a lot of fun, but it was at the expense of other characters' intelligence.
At least Bullock was catching on to it. It took him way too long. All right, let's see. So, following Pie. Okay.
Yes.
The Strike Force searching the mansion. No luck. Find the question mark portrait.
Mm-hmm. Then
Lucius.
Nigma is in the car with Lucius, kind of corners Lucius to the car. Mm-hmm. And let's see.
Lucius is questioning Nigma's motive because he mentions, we did the test. The antidote in the vial was grape juice, and everyone had knockout gas instead of this poison you were talking about. So the point, and he mentioned the point was not to kill cops. The point was to play games, to get you to play my game.
Tell me, have you always been this foxy?
I really do really like the line because he's saying, then why kill people? He's asking, he kind of poses a question instead of an answer. He says,
he does, yeah.
Have you always been foxy? Have you always been who you are now, essentially, is what he's asking. So, and then Nigma's kind of going into backstory again. Really well-written scene here until the very end, I thought.
Okay.
Really, basically goes into it saying, I've always been someone deep down, I've always been someone stronger and smarter. There's always been someone stronger and smarter inside. And essentially only the Penguin saw that. Only Oswald saw that. So why'd you kill him? He killed the woman I loved. He killed Isabella, not Isabel. Isabella. He killed the woman I loved. And then Fox is pointed, so I'm his replacement. A reflection? No. I know who I am. I need to know how to be that. You helped me. Thank you. Again, Gunda, Lucius says, and okay, well, now you thank Yvette with your usefulness. Bang. It's about to be what happens. And I love this. This, to me, the bit of this scene, I really love what it does here. So Fox tries to reach Nigma on a intellectual and a human level, which is really clever, really great. And again, I love how we built this where Lee kind of telling him a little bit about psychology in the beginning, and now this is really coming at you. Because the only person who could possibly get to Nigma on this level, on the intellectual level, be someone who has matched him intellectually in some capacity in this episode, which of course would only be Fox.
Sure.
So, he's mentioned, he confronts him with the intellectual, logical facts, the things that Penguin's been confronting with here and there on the grand scheme, like becoming a villain. So Lucius is addressing it here to him. You killed 6, technically 7 if you count the Penguin, 6 to 7 people. And announced you're a villain and a murderer to the world. If there's any part of you that is not insane, listen to me. You need help. Turn yourself in. And then Enigma saying, "My actions seem mad to you, don't they?" Yes, they do to anyone.
Mhm.
Enigma in this moment realizes that Penguin was right about facing the truth. That's kind of what Fox. And I love how Fox is ushering him into this point. Fox is allowing him to move forward. So Fox is filling that role that Enigma needed him to fill all along, even though he's trying not to.
Sure.
Enigma's realizing I killed my best friend. All of this was Enigma. All the stuff he's done in the episode was basically Enigma desperately holding on to Penguin as long as he could, just a little bit longer, trying to find someone to fill the Penguin's shoes.
So in a way, it's just kind of like the most destructive and
Demented casting
horrific.
call ever.
Yeah, and just form of therapy also.
Yeah. So then here's the bit I love the whole I love this scene. I love how it's written, except for
Okay.
this last bit, and it's kind of crucial to the episode, at least the
Where he
titles.
says
Which,
the name.
I
I
like the
agree.
origin of the name.
Yeah, like for an episode called "How the Riddler Got His Name," I don't necessarily think there's a huge amount of build up to it in the episode.
I love the how, but it's the name parts. I love everything else, and like how he got to that point. That's great. It's like
Right, right.
I this could have been written so many other different ways, like how he got the name. Like look at Batman Forever, for example. It's something I rarely would say on this show, but look at Batman Forever. For example. The whole he's going through all the funny names. The Puzzler,
Sure.
the Riddler, kind of he happens upon this. So, who are you? Lucius questions, "Who are you now?" He says, "Oh," and this like a cool build up for it, but again, not founded on anything really. He says, "Oh, come on, Foxy, I'm the Riddler." Knocks him out. Mwahaha. Again, just I'm the Riddler. Well, again, where did it come from? Where Riddle? I mean, we know you Riddle.
It's just a little anticlimactic for me, especially because the whole episode is supposed to be based on this. You know what I mean?
Which ordinarily Gotham titles don't always hold the meaning they should.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Yeah.
We're going back to that. Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Oh no! This is like the very long-winded version of like Selena Kyle or Harvey Dent. Oh God! Oh Jesus!
See, that's kind of the.
You're right, Dragon. I did. Oh man, you're so right.
But you see what I mean, though, right? I mean, Gotham
yes,
is
I totally see what you mean. It's like, oh God, it's like this whole episode is like how the Riddler got his name, and it's like it's really just like a vague afterthought in the grand scheme of things. Oh, that's a good point. Oh man, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I get it's like while usually sometimes the Gotham titles don't really, the name's usually not a pivotal point because they just kind of forget it as an afterthought for them.
Right.
But in this case, it sounds like it's based on the episode really about the formation of the Riddler. That's kind of important. So you want to get the name part right in this case. Anyway,
Okay.
so it knocks out Lucius. Again, I just wish the name came about differently. That's really all I can say.
Yeah.
Let me mention this before we move on. This connects to the us in the next series that I love. Tell me if this sounds a little crazy to you, but this to me feels like a Killing Joke moment for the Riddler.
Does it?
Somewhat of a Killing Joke moment between Enigma and Fox. It's somewhat kind of that moment with Batman Joker in the rain where he's like saying, again, although it's a really nice tender scene, the two of them in the car, it's like Lucius reaching him on that human level saying, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense. You're the smartest man in Gotham. Why are you doing this? You need help. Turn yourself." And he's giving like a genuine human chance. It's kind of the moment with Batman and Joker where it's it's saying like, look, we don't have to fight.
I mean, of course, it doesn't have like the decades of build up to it.
It doesn't, but I'm saying you don't want it to be just a carbon copy. I'm saying this feels like an original take on that, but for the Riddler.
I can see that. Sure.
I was saying I kind of like that aspect of it. On the rewatch, it kind of picked up. Oh my God, it's kind of like a Killing Joke for the Riddler. It's kind of neat. Anyway, so then we get the this is the fun reoccurring symbol in Gotham, I must say. The pier on the outskirts next to the water. I think technically it's a different location, but essentially they're going for the same visual idea.
Right.
The pier, let's say, is the symbol of change in Gotham. It's always the symbol of kind of being near the outside, the entry point of the city, the entry point, the exit point of the city. Where Enigma, in the end of that weird break for the season, Enigma was in the position of Jim Gordon at the beginning of Gotham, where, what if Jim did shoot the Penguin? That's what Enigma's been living through, the dark evolution versus the troubled evolution that Gordon went through. So Enigma's been through, like, what if Gordon did kill the Penguin?
Mm-hmm.
Who will he become? That's kind of what It's kind of what happened. I love Penguin's line of like, I'm not really a fan of The View.
You can understand why.
Yeah, not only just that, because of the fact that he was killed in this exact spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just saying, I love that we've had all this Ivy kind of leaving and re-entering the city through this point. I really truly do love this idea of this spot does have a lot of meaning in the series of Gotham. Everyone says even if the pilot didn't wow him, that scene at the dock always did really get him to watch the next one. So this location's always kind of important. I've always loved it for that reason. So the what's happening in the scene. So the reason they're there. Again, point of change, point of evolution is. Enigma makes peace with Penguin. He's moving forward. He's kind of doing, let's just say, a way Bates Motel could have ended here.
Sure.
Enigma is one of the various, because I had a whole lot of a few different theories of how Bates Motel could have ended. It kind of is this is like one of the ways it could have ended. Enigma making peace with Penguin, acknowledging that yes, I did care about you, and I do miss you. And he dumps the pills. Before he dumps the pills, it's the logic of Penguin is deflating the meaningfulness of the moment, saying, well, he's reminding that's nice, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm dead. He also reminds him that he's wanted, and no one's going to fear the Riddler. Let me get this great line. Not yet, but they will be.
Which I think is probably the payoff for the name that the episode was probably going for.
Yeah, again, that's what that. If we just could have worked in the name in that scene, that would have been all the better.
Yeah.
If you came up with the name with Riddler.
And now Dragon, until 2 minutes later in the episode, or actually only literally the next scene, I don't know. Do you think it would have been more effective if we would have had at least one scene between Ed tosses the pills and we don't see Penguin, and maybe it's oh, okay, is that Robin Lord Taylor's swan song on the show? Nope.
Well, I know what I think I know what they're going for here. So it's kind of again, as one is doing this, then we have the harsh reality setting in on the other. But you're right, though. You're right, though. It is kind of a beautiful swan song in some way. Again, they kind of pull two swan songs out of their head.
If I were them, I'd maybe swap the stuff with with Jim and Frank. This is just a real nitpick, where Gordon finds a picture and Frank with the core. I would switch that and then have the Oswald stuff, or maybe have the Oswald stuff right at the end. I don't know. I'm just saying, at least give us some time to process that Robin Lord Taylor maybe might not be on the show anymore. Maybe.
I see your point, but I kind of like the juxtaposition, I guess. But yeah, you're right, though. It is kind of it'd be nice to kind of absorb it for what it is.
Right.
Dumps the pills. We hear kind of the somber Penguin theme playing as he dumps the pills, and that's kind of our goodbye, Penguin. And then he goodbye, Oswald. He dons the hat and he walks away, accepting his destiny as the Riddler. And then we have the harsh reality that I knew this was coming. I knew. I think I told you. Unfortunately, it didn't play out the way I wanted it to either. But I was still hoping the Court of Owls was going to be responsible for this.
Right.
Again, they said they had plans for him. I wanted to know what those plans were. Darn it. But so then we reveal, of course, big surprise. Robin Lord Taylor, one of the most popular characters on the show, is not dead. So Penguin, it's revealed that Penguin is in fact alive. He's wounded, and he's been nursing in the weeks that have eluded us.
Yes.
It is revealed Ivy has for some mysterious reason rescued the Penguin. No clue why.
Are you stupid? She's just insulted by the fact that he doesn't know her name. She thinks she's some big shot.
Yeah, I think it's honestly. I think the only reason I can think of why she saved him was because she realized, oh man, the mayor. I just saved.
I absolutely think it's because I'm gonna nurse the mayor back to health, and then that'll be a benefit to me. I definitely think that's the situation there.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, I got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, "Oh, you look like you're gonna be sick or something." Says, "I just remembered. There's someone I need to kill."
And I love how gleeful he is about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I mentioned, folks, Gordon finds a picture that Frank left behind of of a young Peter, Frank, and a young Jim Gordon. Jim Gordon is a boy, and on the back of said picture it says, "Help me honor his legacy." And then I love the stinger with the court dragon. Like I said, I love how ominous they are with Frank, where it seems in this moment with Frank, he's very much in with the court. He's like, everything's going according to plan. It seems like I've at least piqued Jim's interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
like, is he that good an actor, or is he like just being that good an actor?
Right. And I really do think the show's doing a good job with it, and I genuinely don't know either way at this point. So props on the show's part for keeping that mystery.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
So then after that we have, so again, Frank's telling Catherine that he needs time, and she says the clone's in place, and then we have our big ending, big reveal.
Yes, we have
Bruce. A lot of people are excited about this.
Yeah. Now, Dragon, I hope this is what I think it is. I'll just say that
I know
much.
it is. I for the fact I know what it is, and Tiki may or may not know, so we're about to find out.
Well, I hope that it's the labyrinth.
Let's just say I can see how they can work in the labyrinth, but this to me is not an indicator of the labyrinth. Honestly, though, when you bring that up, though, I don't see why they couldn't work in the labyrinth with what they're doing with Bruce's story.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Bruce in captivity, away from everyone else. I'm hoping for the labyrinth here, Dragon.
Now that you bring it up, I'm hoping they work it into what they're doing, because I know what the main thing they're doing with Bruce's thing. It's the point. Okay. Bruce wakes up in snowy, I want to say, Himalayan mountains.
Uh-huh.
And first, again, he's in the, he's basically, we're doing the thing where we're taking Bruce out of Gotham, the train.
Kind of like the Nightfall thing.
Well, yeah, but also kind of like the Batman Begins thing.
Sure.
Yeah, again, it's kind of like, and this to me is kind of a neat way of, okay, this might be a way of squeezing kind of the training of Batman and working it back into Gotham without having him globetrotting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had him globetrotting. We don't know how long he's going to be out of Gotham.
Right.
We'll see. So, point is, big ending. Bruce is out of Gotham. We have Doppel Bruce in his place. So it's a huge reveal. He's in a mysterious Himalayan mountains somewhere.
Okay, then.
Promo.
Yes.
So we had a promo, and then we have the trailer, which I take it you did not watch the trailer.
I did not watch the trailer. Shit, I wish I knew there was a trailer.
Well, but remember, I told you like the big reveals in the trailer, and then you said you're gonna wait till after you watch the episode.
Oh, right, yeah.
Anyway, well, here's the promo. Here's the promo. That's the stuff we can't do. But I assume you watched the promo.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we have a court table scene. And they're wearing all the masks.
Wait for it. Where is it? Ooh, the masks. Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, the mask, they're looking better. I don't know if they changed them at all, but I think they're looking better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I think the first time Catherine wore the mask, they did something with her hair. They gave her like kind of one of those kind of poofy judge wigs, I think.
Right. I can see that. Yeah.
So now I think she looks a lot better. They found like a good base of the mask look a lot. Hold the mask up for a moment. They look closer to this. Just that, what if the nose was the end of the mask? That's kind of what the idea is with these new masks. It's still pretty cool looking.
Sure.
So let's see. The court's gathered at a table saying "Gotham must fall," which gave me chills.
Mm-hmm.
So again, some cool mask shots. The Talons are back. We have another Talon. Hopefully, one of an army of Talons. I'm hoping to get that visual. We got a Talon attacking Babs and Tab.
Oh boy.
So basically, Talon's info. The point is, the Talons are attacking the Gotham crime, the underworld.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to be really cool. The court's making their move in a big way. There's a weapon of the Corval en route from Indian Hill, which may be the weapon that they had the giant crystal owl statue.
Right, sure.
Again, from Indian Hill, Hugo Strange is doing. There's a man waiting. A man who's been waiting for Bruce gives him a hallucinogenic kind of treatment, like a little kind of pinprick in the head.
Which again kind of made me think of the labyrinth a little bit.
Maybe, but it gives him a hallucinogenic kind of little thing, the Vision Quest, which takes him back to Crime Alley.
Okay.
The place where his parents died. So he says he has so much to teach Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the crux of what we got going on in the next episode.
So we only have 2 titles to speculate on so far out of the remaining episodes, Drac. We have
Would you like me to tell you what the cool stuff we do see in the trailer, or what?
I guess, yeah, sure, really quick.
Okay, we got Selena Kyle in a Batman Returns homaging shot. She's like falling through the window shot.
Okay.
When Selena in the movie in Batman
Yeah,
Returns
yeah.
when she falls, she's revived by cats. We're doing that. We have Ivy, Freeze, and Firefly all gathered around.
Ooh, okay.
Barnes is escaping in his kind of a neat looking black suit.
Gotta be honest, not really looking forward to that episode. Just kind of feels like a dangling plot thread that we need to wrap up just for the sake of wrapping it up. Anyways.
I do have news you're really going to like.
Okay.
Hugo Strange is coming back.
Thank God, it's been too long.
And Fish Mooney, they're both returning.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Mad Hatter coming back.
Looking forward to that.
And let's see, all of this is basically, I don't know, I have a big reveal. I'm trying to debate where to use that. Point is, all the stuff that's going on with Bruce Wayne is, the core of Bruce Wayne is kind of to destroy Gotham, and out of the ashes a hero will rise. It's kind of the new moniker they're going with. They always love the new monikers for all these little chapters of the story. Like this one's called Heroes Rise, or Hero Will Rise.
Mm-hmm.
A protector. Basically, Gotham's going to be destroyed, and they want Bruce to arise as a protector, as a hero.
Sure.
Okay, that was speculation. So, yeah,
episode 16 is these delicate and dark obsessions, and episode 17 is the primal riddle. Ooh.
Now, if I'm right, the next episode is directed by Ben McKenzie. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And this is his first time directing, and I got word back. Well, I didn't get word back from him directly, but I read somewhere that Ben McKenzie, he had a great time directing. He looks forward to doing more, so he had a nice experience doing it.
Nice.
And there was a writer cameo.
Dragon, I've got a crazy theory about you're just gonna laugh in my face about this, and I'm
gonna see, because I want to see if you guess the big reveal. I want to see if maybe you're right on it.
Oh, I don't think this is the big reveal. This, by all means, don't get your hopes up. I'm just thinking, with Penguin kind of out of commission, we don't know how long Penguin's gonna be gone, or how long the storyline with Ivy's gonna last. If Gotham needs a new mayor, I could see. I hate to even say it, Dragon. I really hate to say it. I could see Barbara potentially jockeying for that position. I could see Barbara jockeying for the position of mayor if the Penguin's out of commission. What do you think?
Well,
it wouldn't be out of character with what we've seen from her. She's very opportunistic, and that's.
Well, here's the reason. Part of me wants to say no because she's been in Arkham, but then again, Penguin's been in Arkham and he was released. So for that reason, I can't discount it for that reason. But secondly, I think people would get a sense of, okay, let's not trust Barbara.
But again, why would they trust the Penguin? I mean, I don't know.
Well, the Penguin's rallying against Fish Mooney and the monsters. That was his big kind of claim to fame.
Look, I know it's a stretch, but I just think the idea of having Barbara as the mayor of Gotham would just be a lot of fun, especially the irony of all that. And anyways,
I wonder who the acting mayor's. Here's the thing: constantly happens on superhero shows. We always have a lot of mayoral elections, constant mayor elections. Constant.
That's what I'm saying. Unless the Penguin getting revenge on Nigma thing is going to be a one and done thing, and then he just instantly goes back to being mayor, we're going to have that vacuum to fill, I would assume.
I'll tell you who I want as mayor, personally. I would like Alfred as mayor. I want Pennyworth for mayor.
I would totally vote.
But no. In all seriousness, what would be kind of cool, though, is if the Court of Owls put someone in the mayor's office.
That would be cool. That would be cool, yeah.
Catherine as mayor, maybe.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Catherine or maybe Frank. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's see. How long do you think that Gordon's going to be away from the GCPD for the rest of the season off with Frank? You think
you got to remember,
be disconnected a little?
Well, he's still going to be a member of the GCPD. He's just going to be, he's been doing a secret.
Well, I understand that he's still a member. I'm just asking, do you think, how connected do you think his plot's going to be? Do you think it's mostly going to be this stuff with Frank? Do you think we're going to see him back with Bullock before too long? Here's
what I'm hoping. Basically, Jim's going to be going undercover, and I hope they're going to play this smart. The smart way of doing this is that Jim informs Bullock what he's doing, so he's not going to be no misunderstandings. No what mess has Jim got himself into this time? I don't want any of that. I'm hoping we don't, and if we do that, I hope we don't do more than one episode of that. Because we have seen shots of Jim and Bullock entering a Court of Owl's chamber. So I mean that we've seen that. So that implies at some point Bullock's going to be on board. We don't know when though.
Sure, sure.
So I just hope that he informs him from the beginning, which would be smart. And here's a theory with Gordon. I kind of called one of all the theories of when Ben McKenzie said, and this might be what Ben McKenzie was hinting at. He was asked like he might be taking on another moniker. He might be taking on like the moniker of another character, and this might have been what he was talking about, Court of Owls.
Mm-hmm.
And I threw out one of the suggestions, of course, when we were this is back in the day when we thought maybe he could become a proto Batman.
Sure, sure.
One of the theories I threw out was that maybe Gordon becomes a Talon. So maybe here he has to work his way up from Talon to court member.
That'd be an interesting story arc for him for the rest of the season. Yeah,
Be interesting. So I mean, we'll see. You got anything else?
Shit, I had something, but oh God. Oh yeah. Well, we already were talking about how how Ivy, I think, is definitely nursing Penguin back to health because she wants to get in on, she wants to reap the benefits of helping the mayor and get some sort of power out of that. So that's what I think is going on with Ivy. I definitely think it's fun that we've got this whole this epic Riddler and Penguin storyline that's been going on for so long. It's almost kind of grown to Shakespearean levels. And as much as I am kind of like, yeah, they sort of like, they sort of weren't brave enough to go through with killing the Penguin. I've got to admit, as soon as I saw Robin Lord Taylor back and chastising Ivy and whatnot, I'm like, all right, I'm not sad that they made this decision to keep him around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna come around on that.
Let's see, anything else? I think I've got it. Like, I actually wouldn't mind if Lucius and Bullock were kind of the main buddy cop dynamic instead of Lucius and Gordon, or Bullock and Gordon, I should say. Like, I want to see more of Lucius.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that Alfred is going to figure out the Doppelbruce thing by next episode. I don't think he's going to be in the dark about that for long.
And it was the pie. The pie gave him away.
And also, I hope that we get Alfred and Selina teaming up to stop Doppelbruce.
Maybe.
Okay, and that's about all I got for spec.
Let me try to fire through mine. Okay. So let's see. I definitely think I won't give away who it is, but people, comic fans, I'm sure can pretty much put it together instantly when I say this, so they'll know. But we'll see. So Doppelbruce is going to be used to destroy Gotham. I'm convinced with the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls is going to use him as a pivotal thing to kind of get full control over Gotham, basically burn it to the ground in some capacity. While the real Bruce is being trained by, and we know one of these characters' names, so we know that the man with the white hair is going to be training Bruce in the next episode. That is Henry Ducard, most likely.
Okay.
Now, Tiki, let me make it clear. Okay, let me make it clear.
I knew that they were going to this, but yeah, that's right. We're right on that. Okay, nice.
So the guy with the white hair, basically it's like a 90% certainty this guy is Henry Ducard. Now let's let the folks at home. Let me remind you. In Batman Begins, the plot twist in the comics, the man who trained Bruce Wayne in the Himalayas is Henry Ducard. That's the character in the comic. They pulled a wonderful switcheroo in Batman Begins where they melded the characters.
Even to the point of having like the action figure of Henry Ducard be Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. So just so you know, that's how it kind of goes in the comics, and that seems to be what they're doing. I'll be very shocked if it's not Henry Ducard, but it's the point is it's going to be a character like that, the trainer, one of Bruce's trainers from the comics. So by Henry Ducard and his boss, let's say. Yes. So, the point is, I think the real Bruce Wayne is going to be trained by Henry Ducard and eventually Henry Ducard's boss to usher in the new Gotham. That's the protector of the new Gotham.
I like it.
Of course, I think the Wayne murder was orchestrated and all this to make this plan happen. And by the season's end, Bruce is going to, having learned this, having kind of experienced this, he's going to be turning that mission, that core mission that's been put into place by the Court of Owl's core purpose of restoring order and balance in the Gotham. Mm-hmm. He's going to take the good intentions of the Court of Owls to formulate his mission to save Gotham.
Mhm.
That'll be the ending of this season. I've been saying that before, but now I think there's more and more evidence to suggest that. I think Penguin's forming a team of villains because just based on the fact that Ivy, Freeze, and Firefly are in a shot together. It
Okay,
implies that.
right, right.
Basically, I think it's gonna be kind of like a long Halloween ending vibe. The end where they're all in the room together.
I've not read Long Halloween. I apologize.
Yeah, well, the point is like the cool shower, Two Face, and the whole lot of villains like in the
I
scene
mean, I'll
together.
take your word for it. I don't know directly what you're talking about, but
Anyway,
anyways.
so I think Strange is going to be pivotal in taking the court down.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. I hope they give him a meaty role for the season.
This theory is kind of a weird one, but just because he was said to be in this season, so far we still have nothing of him, and the fact that with that big old crate that's in the next episode say it's going to be a weapon of the Court of Owls, just the fact that it's Indian Hill, of course, a lot of weird experimentation stuff. I think it might be Solomon Grundy because we've had it, the giant zombie guy,
Sure,
Solomon
sure.
Grundy.
I wouldn't be
I think
surprised.
Yeah, I think that might be him. Just given like we haven't seen him yet, and they said he was supposed to be in the season. They did the same thing with the Mad Hatter last season, though. We were supposed to get
Oh
Mad Hatter in
God,
season
right, right.
2, but we didn't get him until 3. So I don't know. Maybe they're saving Grundy for 4.
Maybe that's like a pattern with the villains.
The last thing I have is the broad spectrum how I think the arcs of the season is going to go going forward. I think it's going to be we're going to start with Court for a couple episodes, then we're going to go Mooney and Barnes.
Uh-huh.
Because Mooney's going to come back, and I think that's going to be Penguin's kind of team of villains versus Mooney's just kind of. I don't think Mooney's going to have monsters anymore. I think it's going to be Mooney just kind of trying to take Gotham back now that Penguin's reportedly gone.
Sure.
And then we're going to go from that to like the last kind of third here, where it's going to be the Court of Owls, and the Big Boss that we've learned. Yeah, I think the big revealed boss is going to be it's not just going to be the court again. It's going to be the court, but now knowing who the head honcho is.
Sure, sure.
And then at the very end, like kind of the way we end the season, it's probably like a little cliffhanger, like a little post credits tease at Jerome for next season.
At Jerome?
Yeah, I think it strikes me that Jerome's
I
like
don't
a
necessarily
huge,
think they'd end the season on Jerome with all the Court of Owls stuff, and I don't know. I mean,
well, no, I don't mean it's going to be like we're going to like. I don't mean a cliffhanger in that sense. I just mean like at the end where we have like the end of the first season, like the tease of the Batcave. I think it's going to be a tease to Batman, which might be Jerome.
okay.
I'm just saying the fact that we put him in Arkham and the fact that Jerome's always like a way to get viewers, and if they wanted to ensure a 4th season, they would show Jerome.
All right.
Okay. That's a theory. Yeah.
All right. So final thoughts. Yeah.
Yes. Final thoughts.
I saved you there. I caught you. Okay. So final thoughts on my end. Honestly, the only thing that I kind of was let down with by this episode, Dragon, is what I agree with you. I think the name thing was a little underwhelming and a little underbaked. But besides that, I thought this episode was a lot of fun. The Gordon stuff is a little slow for me so far, so we'll see how that picks up. But other than that, I love the Penguin and Enigma stuff and the Doppelbrew stuff. I can already tell is going to be great. And of course, Lucius and Bullock were kind of a big highlight of the episode. I hope they have more scenes together. And overall, it's just, it's good to be back in spite of the somewhat messy way in which they got us back. I'm having fun with it. Yeah.
On the whole, I like this one a lot better on the rewatch. Because again, some of the Riddler stuff it was a little clunky on the first watch, but again, it all kind of came into focus and kind of appreciated the cleverness and the writing a lot more on the rewatch. Again, I still have issues with a few things I still can't get over, like the name and like the whole Bullock chair catch. But
right.
aside from that, again, the break was really annoying. How we just had to wait so long for Gotham to come back because they have other shows they want to get on, and we have other networks. There's the fact that the reason I believe the reason for this break is they have other shows they want to take the time slot temporarily. I think that's what they do these breaks sometimes. At least breaks that go on this long sporadically like this. But the point is. The wait, was a little irritating, but again, I think now, especially with the big plot twist they have, which I pretty much given away, but in case anyone hasn't known,
right.
Again, just the big plot twist they have coming, and I think they're really working as hard as they can to get Bruce to the point where he's going to become Batman sooner and sooner. We're kind of shaping everyone into their destinies, and we're tying it into the Court of Owls in a really interesting way. I'm really appreciating it. I think what they're doing with this Court of Owls stuff is really making the show feel less of like, hey, we know where it's going, we're gonna drag it out as long as possible. It feels like, hey, for this universe, we're really, what if we did a show where we're seeing how Gotham affects people, we're also tying everything in really neatly so the city has even more effect on its characters, which is
Hmm.
smart moving, and season 3 is still turning full of a lot of really good surprises so far, except for
Totally.
what they've done with the league here and there. So, uh, so
Who's on her best behavior this episode?
yes. I guess with that said, remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world may be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, we'll go exploring Gotham yet again. Oh God, why are there always 3 answers? Why can't there be 4? Come on!
Where's the pie?